For the most part, it's been okay, not great, but it's been okay. They're 500 on the road on this trip right now, but they need points, and nothing would be better suited for this hockey club right now than getting this win tonight. They need these 2 points to elevate themselves. There. Look at St. Louis; they have been so good.
Yeah,
11 straight victories. In Minnesota, that's one of the teams you're going to be battling with, and Calgary's right behind them. So you can't look behind you; you have to look ahead, and you can't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow or what's already happened. Right now, this is the most important game for Minnesota.
Just 2 road games left for the Wild after this affair here tonight from UBS Arena. And both games on this trip, they've trailed in the third period, found a way to rally, at least get themselves in overtime. The shootout loss in New Jersey, the early OT loss at Madison Square Garden a couple of nights back. They've had a day off in between. You think the group is ready. They're feeling well prepared and somewhat rested for this one?
Oh, I think they are. I think the leadership of this hockey club also, and not just the guys who have the A or the C on their jerseys, but the leadership of everybody in that locker room has got to be evident here tonight. They've got to come out with, I always say, guns a-blazing here. They want that start. They want a quick start. They want to get that first goal and give them that energy that they need and that confidence.
The Wild are 41, 28-7, 89 points. The Blues have surpassed them in the standings. Minnesota has a game in hand. That's the contest here tonight. Again, Wednesday, a 5-4 overtime loss at Madison Square Garden. That game was tied 4 different times after the Wild took an initial 1-0 lead. The Islanders come in having not played since Tuesday when they were saddled with a 4-1 loss at home to Tampa Bay. They're right at 500, 32-10, 74 points. Their home and road splits almost identical, 17-15-5 at home, 15-17-5 on the road. They're down to the nitty-gritty, and right now, 6th place in the wild card race, meaning they've got to leapfrog several teams. They are 7 points back of the second wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. These 2 teams met the game before the Four Nations break. The Wild rallied, scoring 5 unanswered to win that one 6-3. The puck drops next from Elmont, New York. The Wild and the Islanders wrap up the season series. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild. As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapist will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
Hey, Wild fans, this is Marc-Andre Fleury.
Fleury out the challenge, Ovechkin in, took a shot, Fleury the glove save!
Wild Hockey starts now.
Flashing up his left arm and the Wild win!
Wild Hockey on your radio is presented by...
Eyes on me.
Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904. XL Energy. Anderson Windows and Doors. Love the life you see. Catalyst Supply Co. Boost your build. Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild.
Let's play hockey.
Tria Orthopedics, official team physicians of the Minnesota Wild. And by Acrashore, helping you take care of what you care about. Find out more at acrashore.com.
And now, live from the arena, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
Here from UBS Arena, ready for the opening face-off. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. The Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the opening period. Tonight wearing their white sweaters, wrapping up this 3-game road trip against an Islanders team that's dropped 4 straight coming in. They start in period 1 skating from left to right. And they are in their blue uniforms here this evening. It's dumped in from center ice. We're underway as the Islanders dig one free on the forecheck, and a quick little backhanded chance was knocked down in front, or I should say over the crossbar. As the Wild got their sticks in that lane. Now a kick saved by Gustafsson on a long bid. The puck rolls through the Wild slot, favored to Boldy. They'll be leaned on at center, got wrestled down. Foligno trying to swat it in. Marcus Foligno nearly stepping past that check cleanly. Islanders spinning around the wall. Middleton keeps it left point, drives a shot, hammered it wide. Foligno to the carom. Cycled off for Boldy as the Wild look to go to work. He's forced off the puck, however, and the Islanders get it out to center.
And Joe, I would expect the Islanders to come out there very relaxed also. They're not going to be in the playoffs. They know that already. There's a chance, but I think it's a remote chance. I don't think they're going to make it. But at the same time, they're much more relaxed. Minnesota has to be ready for that challenge early on.
Here's Brock Faber carrying the Wild ahead off to Marcus Johansson. Johansson coming off a 3-point game at MSG. His second 3-point effort of the season. Simon Holmstrom trying to tap out for the Islanders. It does come through center. Spurgeon regroups it, finding Freddie Gaudreau. Will tap off the left wing boards. Back together, Alexander Romanov. His long up ice pass well off the mark for Siplikov. This is icing on the home side.
Yeah, that's going to bring the faceoff back deep in the Islander zone. Of course, we know the Islanders, they've been around for a long time. You look at this team, this is a team that came in the early 70s. They've won 4 Stanley Cups over the years, and those are the years I played against them. And look at that guy behind the bench right now for the Islanders. Of course, Patrick Roy, the longtime goaltender in the NHL. And if you remember, it was Patrick Roy who was the last goal ever scored against him was Andrew Burnett in game number 7 in Colorado.
Roy won 4 cups, 2 in Montreal, 2 in Colorado. But you're right about that. The end of his career is one he'd certainly like to forget. Johansson, right point, tripped up.
We won't let him forget.
Clearly.
You know.
Spurgeon back inside his own blue line, shoved it along. Brodin hits the red line left side, filters it in. Sorokin out, got a chunk of it. Romanov stashed it along. Siplikov tips out to center. Back forward is Brock Faber, spinning in front of the Wild bench, angling it left wing boards for Jake Middleton. Middleton rams it in from the neutral zone. Middleton, I noticed, Tom, a lot of shot attempts, 17 shot attempts over the last 2 games.
Well, he's turned into an offensive type of defenseman also. When he first came to Minnesota, it was all about defense, but he's found out that he can do some good things offensively, so he has a lot of confidence in his game right now.
Yanish throws it deep in his own zone, cut to the left of Gustafsson. Middleton then had a pass blocked. Engvall dancing in front, his shot blocked out in front by Faber. Hustling to it, Hudson Fashing, the Apple Valley, Minnesota native. He connected with Engvall. It ends up rolling through the Wild slot. Minnesota came up with it for a moment. Now Mayfield, a long bid. That was chunked off a couple of bodies. Nyquist trying to hand it along. Now it's Middleton, right circle, safely off the glass, and back through center ice.
Boy, Minnesota's a little bit sloppy in their own zone already early on in this first period. You've got to settle down a little bit. I know they're nervous out there. At the same time, they don't want to make a mistake, but you got to play your game.
Kyle McLean with a pass. Got rocketed through the neutral zone, grabbing it Yakov Trenyon. Trenyon over the blue line, left it back. John Merrill left point, fired a shot, and that never got through. Merrill was scratched Wednesday against the Rangers. Declan Chisholm drew in for the first time in a couple of weeks, suffered an injury, and then was kind of healthy scratch. Merrill 1 game out, right back in for Minnesota. McLean slaps one in. Wild come back for it. Good pass by Trenyon, lobbing it ahead for Devin Shore. Shore's feed, though, taken away by Tony DeAngelo, who tonight appears in his 399th career regular season game as the puck ends up right by the Wild bench now. The Islanders dig it free. Their centering feed, knifed around. Horvat trying to come up with it. He couldn't. Boldy to his right, spins it rink wide. Grabbing it, Jonas Brodin will hit the red line and then poked it along left side looking for Foligno. Foligno, a toe drag move, nothing there. Following up the play, Boldy, he'll just slash it out the center for the control. Brodin, who's able to go D to D for Spurgeon as the pace slows down. Almost 4 minutes gone by in the opening frame. Over the blue line, Boldy and Foligno, a little two-man game. Boldy now wrists it around the end wall. Siplikov tried to tip it out. Looking to come up with it, Foligno, nothing there. And the Islanders smack it ahead. Kyle Palmieri lost it at center, and Minnesota regroups again. Spurgeon to Foligno. Hand it back to Spurgeon. Left wing up ice dish. It's Boldy. In onside. Takes a look. Activated for a moment. Then spun along the hash mark. Try to swat it down low. And it ends up clanging off a body and finding the netting with 4:12 gone by in the first and no score.
Well, Minnesota right now trying to settle down a little bit more so than they were in the first couple of minutes in this hockey game. Look a little bit rattled out there. But now the passes are starting to find their mark. Tape-to-tape passing. That's what you're looking for. The faceoff is going to be deep in the Islanders zone.
Islanders have scored just 53 times in the first period of games this year, tied for third fewest in the league. They've scored first overall in games. By far the fewest of any club. Just 27 times this year the Islanders have taken a 1-0 lead in the game. Charging in Simon Holmstrom, got around Middleton and cut to the back post. Gustafsson fought it off with his right skate.
Good play by Holmstrom, also showing that speed. Just a power move to the front of the net.
Middleton knocked the puck down in the slot, feathered it to Johansson. Faber joins the rush as well as Marcus Johansson springs it that way. Brock Faber darts his way deep into the Islanders zone, trying to leave it off maybe for Johansson, but J.G. Pageau is there taking over for the Islanders, and now curling back is Noah Dobson. Tied for first on the team in assists. Dobson again starts up and curls back right side. Former first rounder in 2018 had a goal against the Wild in last year's season series. He missed the first meeting between these two teams back in February as the Islanders center, but a shot went wide. That came off the tape of Fashing. Back at the point, fumbling it out the center is Adam Pelech. So Pelech on a regroup. Gets it to Casey Cizikas, his 14th year with the Islanders. And now Cizikas from the offensive blue line steers it in. Bogosian raced back for it, turned it around the boards. Hartman got a piece of it. Pelech kept the line, angled it down low for Pierre Engvall. Engvall traced carefully by Bogosian, turned and spun it free. Darting in, Pelech, a backdoor pass. And Cizikas' shot was blocked out in front by Hartman. It knuckled wide in the Wild control. Break it out with Nyquist gaining the red line, bouncing one in on Sorokin. We'll paddle it to his left for Engvall to gather. 5.5+ minutes now gone by in the opening period. Minnesota steals here. Spurgeon rolled it along. Hinostroza found Trenyon. A return drop pass is broken up and laid out the center. Spurgeon hustling to it. A diving play there by McLean, tried to knife it free, but Spurgeon got there just in the nick of time, and the Wild have puck possession again. It's Trenyon dropping it off for Shore. Threw one in front. That puck hit an Islanders defender and had to be handled by Sorokin.
Good play by Shore, though. Just getting the puck to the front of the net. Trenyon
works it to the left point. Brodin flexed it to the left wing hash marks, where Spurgeon fired a return pass back to Brodin, but that draws Minnesota out the center. Brodin to Spurgeon. It's interesting, Tom, you talked about maybe some possible nerves for the Wild. It really hadn't dawned on me yet, but when they look at their schedule, they know the standings, they know how big this one is against a 500 hockey team that probably won't be in the playoffs. This is the big one.
Yeah, it really is, and Minnesota's made some critical errors in this first period already, and it's given the Islanders an opportunity.
Middleton throwing off his path for the puck by Palmieri, centered for Horvat. Horvat fans on a shot. Now a drive by Mayfield was blocked out in front, and it's chiseled ahead by Brazo.
Minnesota has not found their legs yet, but the Islanders certainly have.
On Tuesday, the only goal the Islanders scored at home was a shorthanded goal from Bo Horvat. Looked like New York was offside there, and a bit of a late whistle, but the call is made. Timeout on the ice, 13:07 to go. Opening period, no score from UBS Arena. The Wild and the Islanders. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Feel the bass, ride the rhythm, and move to the dance hits and remixes that defined a generation in Utopia. A channel pulsing with 90s rave classics and iconic 2000s club anthems. Utopia. Channel 341 or at home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
The countdown to history is on. Alexander Ovechkin, one of the greatest to ever play the game, is chasing hockey immortality. Every goal brings him closer to legend status, and SiriusXM is your front row seat to the action. Live every game, plus catch exclusive interviews with those who know him best, former teammates, coaches, and legends of the game on the SiriusXM app. The Great Chase is on NHL Network Radio.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
For months, I've been listening to hockey people warn the Sabres. Don't move on from Dylan Cousins. This is the one you'll regret. The fact that you're trading in division is amazing to me. This guy can come back and haunt you like every Sabre does. But if I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, Jake, I'm over the moon on this trade.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Paul. Well, 13:07 to go here, period number 1. No goals as of yet. Shots right now have Minnesota in the lead in that department, 3-1. But Joe, I don't like the way Minnesota started this first period. They've got to pick it up here considerably. When you look at the Islanders, they're kind of loose right now, and it makes it a little bit easier to make plays, and you get a little more confidence in your game. But Minnesota's got to find a way to step it up.
The FanDuel TV crew, Anthony LaPanta, Ryan Carter, asked John Hines about that this morning. Our little broadcast huddle up maybe the lack of first period scoring or shots, and Ryan Carter asking John Hines about the starts as an offside call here on New York Colts play. He said the one thing he felt his team could do to avoid a slow start, Tom, was to be confident in execution with the puck. And you mentioned early some kind of sloppy plays for the Wild that wouldn't exactly exude confidence.
Yeah, you're right now. You said before, just play your game. Play the game the guys do in the National Hockey League, and Minnesota's got to really step up their game here right now because the Islanders have come to play.
John Hines also, when I kind of asked him for, sort of his keys to the game, he talked about cleaning up the penalty discipline, being well structured, and then said traffic in front of Sorokin, going back to when these two teams played in February. Wild had a couple of deflected goals that got past the Russian-born Ilya Sorokin. Brodin out of his own zone, a right-wing pass, Zuccarello, flexed it rink wide and ahead, hoping for Johansson. He's the first man there, but he's leaned on and taken off the puck by Adam Pellet, who's in his 10th season with the Rangers. They've got a lot of long-time tenured bodies here, as Holmstrom right side off the rush couldn't handle a feed. Maybe something there for the Islanders had they connected cleanly. It slapped along for Johansson to chase to it again. He'll lean one back, Boudreau a drive, and a stick save by Sorokin as we really welcome him to the contest for the first time. Holmstrom counters. Simon Holmstrom deep into the Wild zone. Pushed a few times by Faber. Back of the cage they go. Pageau spun off of Zuccarello. Tried to center. Holmstrom open in front. Weaved one of the back posts rather than shooting from there. Now a drive kicked out by Gustafsson. A heavy shot by Tony DeAngelo. Puck finds DeAngelo again. He'll swoop it way up high. Romanov found some late help coming off the bench, and that wrister by Cizikas is blocked out of play.
Yeah, I think it may have hit the netting. As it went up, but didn't hear it hit the boards, but it looked like it hit the netting, and that's why they blew the whistle on that one. So that'll probably keep the face-off. I think it's going to be deep in the Minnesota zone. And so back on their heels a little bit right now. Shots are 4-2 in favor of Minnesota, but I think the majority of the execution, the good execution, has been done by the Islanders.
Yeah, and the Wild have blocked quite a few shots already in the opening period. As the Islanders win a draw that Romano fires from the point. That's gloved by Gustafsson. The New York Islanders are the top team in the faceoff circle in the NHL, 54.7%.
Well, it'd be nice to see somebody of Minnesota with a 5 in the first number. We haven't seen much of that this year.
Islanders won 59% of the draws against the Wild in the earlier meeting, but again, Minnesota rallied to win. A point shot here, blockered away by Gustafsson. Hinostroza to the carom. He couldn't clear out. DeAngelo holds in, tried to center. Knocked out of midair first by Hartman, picked up by Bogosian. He rolls it around his end wall. Merrill charged to it, got thrown down by Engvall. Now Merrill gets up a bit slowly as Fashion leaks it around to Cizikas. Up top, a pass stolen by Hinostroza. Darts ahead with Nyquist on the interchange. They couldn't successfully have a little give and go, but an up-ice pass by Hinostroza found Hartman. Hartman tried to fire it in front for Nyquist, and that rattled off some skates, and Sorokin able to fend it aside.
Yeah, nice play by Hartman, though. Trying to get the puck to the slot area.
9 minutes gone by in the opening period. A big collision. Hinostroza went down hard. Hartman then a long shot from the point. That hit some traffic in front, and left wing boards it skated ahead by Matt Martin. Matt Martin playing in his first game since January 16th. He is nearing 1,000 career games as the Islanders' resident big man. He's pinned up now by Jonas Brodin. He's been out with a lower body injury again since the middle of January. But he's been outstanding according to their head coach Patrick Waugh. Said his teammates absolutely love him, and But a really good leader, had a voice in the room despite being out for such a long stretch.
I still remember the hit he had on Keith Ballard, and it ruined Ballard's career the rest of his year. Never played another game. Came across the ice from one side to the other and nailed him. He didn't even have the puck, and the league did nothing.
Scott Mayfield,
that's what I remember about him.
Behind his own net for the Islanders. He was scratched the last 6 games prior to this one. His pass. Down it's intended target Bo Horvat. Slowed down at center by Foligno. And now it's Matt Boldy rumbling in. Boldy left circle with a shot. Hammered it wide. Charging to it, Marco Rossi. Had that early game-tying third-period goal Wednesday at MSG. Islanders start up ice. Horvat leaned on and forced off any path for the puck by Faber. And now it's Jake Middleton off a D-to-D feed to carry the Wild ahead. Hits the offensive blue line, chips it in, and bursts in after it. It's jabbed around the wall, comes back now behind the net of Sorokin. Firing it off the boards is Pellet. Good bank pass to Islanders with numbers here. Lee with a backdoor feed broken up. He had Horvat open on a bit of a 2-on-1, but the Wild able to cut it off. Here's Boldy finding Foligno over the blue line. Has some space. Left circle, Rister. Pad save Sorokin. Palmieri to the rebound. Palmieri had a goal and assist against the Wild at XL Energy Center in early February. As Romanov now charges in. His rink-wide pass looking for Pajot is broken up. Foligno pokes it ahead. Rossi steers it in from center as the Wild change.
Yeah, good play by Rossi. Get in the end zone and all of a sudden just get to the bench and get some fresh bodies on the ice.
Less than 9 minutes left now in the first. Wild from right to left on your radio dials. Holmstrom off the rush, a heavy wrister. Shouldered away by Gustafsson as he flashed up his right arm. At the right point, D'Angelo keeps in for the Islanders. Powered it in the corner, Holmstrom. Holmstrom wrapped up by Merrill. Those two battle, and a penalty call coming. And it's going to be on John Merrill.
Is that a hook he's going to call? Going to find out.
So Merrill to the box for hooking. 8:34 left in the first. The Wild shorthanded when we come back. No score in Elmont, New York. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up closer to check-in time. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
Scoreboard update. Just 2 other games tonight in the National Hockey League. The big one is in D.C. The Capitals hosting the Blackhawks, and guess what? Alex Ovechkin again. His 40th of the season, now just 2 away from catching Wayne Gretzky in a category nobody ever thought would ever be caught, but Alex Ovechkin on fire and on the verge of catching history. The other game tonight has the Red Wings hosting the Hurricanes, and the Red Wings surprisingly up 2-0 on home ice through 1 period of play. So that's your out-of-town scoreboard. Back to Joe and Tom.
And Joe, I kind of smiled a little bit because a couple of years somebody said to me, you think Ovechkin can catch Gretzky? I said, no, not a chance. No, I'm wondering what's going to happen. But, I mean, what a treat he has been to find it. I mean, all the eyes in the hockey world are on Ovechkin tonight with that game at home against the Blackhawks, the lowly Blackhawks. And as a result of that, Ovechkin has a goal already. Was it 2 away now, right?
Yep.
To tie.
To break.
Oh, to break. I'm sorry, yes.
Draw to the right of Gustafsson. Islanders power play 0 for 4 Tuesday. They're last in the league at 12.4%. They have just 10 power play goals on home ice. Stops into the right side. Horvat takes a look at the hash marks. Right wing board. Surveys. Got it up top for Dobson. Left side it comes. A shot blocked out in front. Penalty killers are Foligno, Middleton, Faber, and Gaudreau to start. As Foligno, left wing boards, wins a battle and chisels it back into the Islander zone.
Yeah, Foligno's done a really good job for Minnesota in the PK, not just this year, but in previous years as well.
After the game Wednesday at MSG, John Hines was asked about the penalty kill. He said the details were good, the PK did its job, and he said the penalty kill essentially was a pretty confident group. Spurgeon to Boldy, tap back Nyquist, and again the Wild had a shorthanded goal Wednesday at MSG. As Bogosian will carry ahead shorthanded, lost it deep in the Islanders' own left wing corner. He'll just try to bottle it up. Minute 5 to go.
Yeah, in a situation like this, if you're killing off the time, you just want to kill the clock as much as you can.
Now 7.5 minutes left in the opening period, and 53 seconds ago in the Islanders' power play as Palmieri snuck free for a moment, lost it, and Gaudreau rattles it around the glass and past Anders Lee and all the way down.
You know, Gaudreau's the other guy who's really excelled for Minnesota with a man short.
Wild PK 4 for 4 Wednesday. They scored a power play goal and a shorthanded goal in that hockey game for the third time this season. Most recently being early December in Anaheim with a PPG and a shorty in the same contest. Battle to the right of Gustafsson, deep in the Wild zone here. Faber tries to slap it free. Gaudreau picks it up, bounced it up, not quite out. Noah Dobson held in, flicked it down low. Simon Holmstrom chisels a pass to Siplikov. Max Siplikov to the point. Pulick back to Siplikov, right circle, dancing with it. Back up top, Pulick driving his own man in front, Pajot. It'll create nicely along to Gaudreau. Takes a few strides, slides it all the way down. The power play is now over as John Merrill jumps out of the box right now.
Yeah, good job by Minnesota.
Islanders carry ahead with Pellick off to Pulick. Pulick had a helper Tuesday on their only goal. Rossi right side in his own zone, lost the puck. Engvall's got a man in front, but a penalty call. Well, Rossi lost the puck Wednesday. It resulted in a breakaway goal for Artemi Panarin. There was no call on the play. He felt he was slashed. Here, Rossi loses the puck in a very dangerous spot with the arm up from the official, negating any chance there for the Islanders.
And that should give Minnesota another opportunity with the man advantage, hopefully. And here's the official.
New York Islanders penalty number 20, 2-minute minor for holding.
Holding will be the call on this one, so 2 minor penalties. And going to the box right now is number 20, Hudson Fasching, the young kid of Burnsville, Minnesota, played his high school hockey at Apple Valley.
Thomas, we get one more look at the call here. Rossi has the puck at the hash marks. Boy, there wasn't much there at all.
No, I did not see much. No, I did not.
So the Wild look to take advantage of it on a power play. Islanders, though, win the faceoff. Again, the best team in the dot all year long, and they'll fire down. Back to gather Boldy. He's got a full head of steam from right to left on your radio dial, forced by Horvat to cut off his path a bit. Islanders with that shorthanded goal Tuesday against the Tampa Bay Lightning, their 8th shorty of the season. The Wild deep into the offensive zone now with Freddie Gaudreau, trying to weave it free, broken up by Pellick, stuffed along to Pulick. And Brian Pulick unable to clear. Good stick by Nyquist. That allows Zuccarello to hold it. Feathered it to Boldy. Back to Matt Zuccarello at center point. Fronts the play. Fakes a shot. Boldy a one-timer. And that glanced off of something and ended up way out of play to the right of Sorokin.
Yeah, you don't see too many pucks going into the stands. That one certainly did. No one got injured on that one, but it goes into the penalty box side of the ice surface, and that'll bring the faceoff back deep in the Islander zone to the left of Sorokin.
Looked like on the replay it hit Sorokin's blocker and carried him across the ice to his right and into the stands. That's another draw. This one to the left of Sorokin. Freddie Gaudreau ties his man up and kicks the puck free for Boldy. So the Wild in business here with their power play at $1:12. Boldy right circle. Connects with Marcus Johansson. Sped it to the point. Zuccarello. Given back to Johansson. Attacking right circle. Fired one in front. Nyquist got off a backhander in tight. And it stayed out. Boldy now below the goal line. Give and go with Nyquist. Hacked along for Johansson. He'll send it up top center point. Zuccarello a shot. It glanced off Nyquist and went just wide. Romanov able to clear now off the left wing glass and all the way down.
Yeah, good second. Everybody Romanov gets a puck in the left corner and puts it all the way down the ice.
I like the shooter's mentality of the power play here, which is now gone for at least a partial personnel change with 40 seconds to go on the man advantage. Faber to Hartman. Snatch back for Rossi, who darts over the blue line left side. Left it back for Faber. To the right wing boards it comes. Nyquist takes a look. Back of the cage, Rossi. Give it back to Nyquist. Up top, Faber. Shooting one. Tipped in front. Sorokin the save. Good deflection there by Hartman, but Sorokin answered it, and the Islanders clear down again.
Yeah, Minnesota getting a shot by Faber. Good shot right to the front of the net.
9 shots for Minnesota, 5 for the Islanders with 4.5 minutes left in the first. Wild's first power play of the hockey game down to its final 10 seconds as Justin Brazeau lugs it along and spins it in from the left wing wall. The Wild charge to it momentarily. Cizikas with a clearing attempt that was blocked. It's knocked free then for Engvall. He couldn't get it out. Brazeau in the high slot took a pass, rifled a shot off the glove of Sorokin, and then the end glass. Hartman to the rebound, pounded it around the boards, but Faber's got to bail out. The Islanders back to full strength, and here's Casey Cizikas shifting it in from center. Our chip and chase by Cizikas. Getting there first, he found Engvall. Engvall faked the pass to the point, cycled it back around the Wild net where it's turned up top for D'Angelo. Now to the left side, a wrister blocked out in front by Brazeau, and he'll muscle it free to Hartman. Takes a few strides to his left and then flops it ahead where Brazeau stabs it in. Brazeau's the first man to it. Justin Brazeau pushed a few times into the corner by D'Angelo. Digging it free, the Islanders' defense in the form of Noah Dobson. That's Romanov. Not much there now for New York. They'll try the left wing boards from their vantage point, but Brodin crashed down to hold in. Bouncing puck came out in front. Trenyon went backwards between the legs on a blind attempt and a stick save by Sorokin. Islanders fail to clear again. Devin Shore to a favorable bounce. Right circle. Shore looking for some help. Tried to center. It's batted around. The Wild getting some fresh bodies out while staying in the offensive zone. Hinostroza to the point. Brodin works it to the right side. Faber waits and shoots one. It glanced to the corner to the right of Sorokin. And the Islanders again will use the glass and get it just out to neutral ice, where Hinostroza hustled back for it and twisted it along for Trenyon. Over the blue line left wing wall, Trenyon pinned up, scooped it rink wide. Scurrying back for it is Max Siplikov, who played in the KHL last year where he had 47 points. So he's an NHL rookie essentially for Siplikov, and still really learning the ropes at the NHL level, according to their head coach Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, it's a big difference playing in Europe, of course, when you play in the Russian league and so on. It's a big ice surface compared to the NHL.
Here's Ryan Pulick leading the rush ahead for the Islanders. He's watched by Faber to the corner to the left of Gustafsson. Puck comes up high, a drive by Pajot covering at the point. That tipped high and wide. Faber scurries to it, slams it along for Boldy, who handled it beautifully. Carries into the Islanders zone, finding the late help coming Foligno. His shot, though, blocked out in front by Pellet. Foligno charged to his own loose puck. And Rossi twisting it around. Boldy keeps in, turned and fired one to the right wing corner. It's Foligno dancing with it as the Wild starting to rise to the task here late in period one. We've got no score so far from UBS Arena. Brodin at the point, faked the pass. A spinorama by Brodin. He'll activate, then bounced it back up top for Boldy, who shot one from long range. Never got through. Foligno able to rescue it. He'll twist right wing wall and then feather it down below the goal line, where Rossi's able to win the battle. Rossi coming out right wing corner. Popped it up top. A long shot by Boldy. Knocked down in front. Sorokin looking for it. It's down to his left. And I'll find it with his glove and get a whistle.
Yeah, he was able to reach out with that left glove and make the save. And first of all, then grab onto that puck, and that'll keep the face-off deep in the Islanders zone to the left of the goal.
Minute 38 left in the opening period. When we come back to Elmont, New York, the Wild and the Islanders still looking for the game's first goal. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Well, 1:38 to go here, period number one. No goals as of yet. Minnesota's taking the lead in the shooting department, though, 11-4 right now. And they have 4 shots just with a man advantage also, Joe. So things are picking up a little bit better for Minnesota in the second half of this first period.
And if you look at the Islanders' record and where they stand in goals per game, which is pretty much bottom third, you'd probably be a little surprised to find out the Islanders are a high shot volume team, 7th most shots per game in the NHL. They have just 4 so far, as Tom mentioned. Zuccarello held in left point, gloving a puck down, worked it down low. The Islanders cough it up. Johansson fed it to the point. Brodin works it to the right side. Spurgeon, a shot tipped down in front, pinballs around and ends up to the left of Sorokin, where D'Angelo is there. Zuccarello ties him up. Now Romanov coming to his right, trying to bump it out of the zone. Kept in by Freddie Gaudreau, covered for Brodin, who had pinched in. Gaudreau wound it around the cage. Islanders try the left wing side, where they're able to deflect through center. Minnesota clears the line, looking to go right back in, but Palmieri is there, and he'll put it on tape at D'Angelo. The Wild change on the fly, less than a minute left in the first. As Palmieri darts over the Wild blue line, trying to get around Middleton, looked to work it in front, and Middleton broke that up. Angles to his right, trying to one-touch it out, couldn't. Drive from the blue line, goes wide past the net of Gustafsson. Scott Mayfield is there. Up top, Horvat with a shot block. Hartman picks it up, smacks it off the glass. First man going to be to it is Gustav Nyquist. He'll negate icing. Nyquist deep into the Islanders' zone. Twisting free, tried to center for Hartman. It was a touch too far. Hartman battles to get it back. Slashed by Engvall. It comes out the center. And Ryan Hartman will possess this puck. Skate in front of the Wild bench. Darts ahead then and goes rink wide. Left wing boards it to Nostroza. Gapped up by Mayfield, but Middleton follows up the play. And he's able to find Nyquist. Nyquist looking for some late help coming favor. With the penalty, the period, I should say, down to its final seconds. Hartman tried to twist it in front. That ricochets wide. And Cizikas will skate the Islanders ahead as the horn sounds, ending the opening period.
Well, Minnesota, a little bit of a slow start, I thought, to begin this first period, and but they picked up the pace considerably. No goals, you call it, Joe, but at the same time, the shots were 11-4 in favor of the Wild, as both teams head to the locker room and get ready for period number 2.
For those of you at Treasure Island Casino, it's your lucky day or night. We're going to do a live Tom Reed's hotline at the first intermission, so get those questions to Kevin Falness, who's there at Treasure Island Casino. We thank you for supporting one of our great partners and being there tonight for this watch party. So we'll have a live Tom Reed's hotline coming up just a couple of minutes from now. No score after 20 from UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Sports Grid Radio is covering the lines, odds, and props for every major sporting event. The Final Four.
Cinderella's a cute story. Cinderella always goes home at midnight.
MLB opening week.
They are stacked, and the Dodgers had that win total yesterday, posted at 103.5 for good reason.
And the NFL Draft and the Masters are on the horizon.
He's already sub 5-1 to win the green jacket.
If you're betting on it, we're covering it.
They're plus 320 price right now to win the World Series.
Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
We deliver the NHL.
And I just wonder, Berkey, what your thoughts are on the Capitals. They are Exhibit A as to why a retool can work.
Yes, but it's early. They haven't had a playoff run yet. A lot of people taking bows right now that shouldn't be. I really like this coach. I think Chris Patrick, the GM, has done a real nice job. It is a retool, right? And the goaltending's been spectacular, but let's see. Don't pick out a parade route yet, boys.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
If you would have asked me, what's the one record that would never, ever, ever be broken? Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to if he played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck. That has never changed. In fact, this show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You can win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
After one period of play at UBS Arena, the Wild and Islanders are scoreless. 11 first-period saves for Ilya Sorokin, 4 first-period saves for Philip Gustafson. That's where we sit after 20 minutes, no damage. They're in New York. Tom Reed is there, and for tonight only, we're doing a listener segment only here at Parlay Lounge at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. So if you're bashful, you're out of luck. If you're not bashful, come over here, have a seat at that microphone, and everyone that asks a question will automatically win a prize. We've got free food here at the Parlay Lounge. We've got drink specials and everything else going on as well. Tom, they continue to ask me about you. It's really getting annoying. Everyone wants to know how nice and how cool is Tom Reed. I'm saying he's exactly as you picture him.
What do you want me to say?
I think you should stand up for yourself. I think you are a good person, and I like to be able to call you a friend. Is that okay that I call you a friend?
Yeah, it is. That's a big effing friend, though, right? Okay. Right. We're good with that. I'm good with that.
As people line up here to ask questions to Tom Reed, first and foremost, what did you see through 20 minutes? Wild obviously getting the bulk of the action there with 11 first-period saves, but we're still scoreless after one.
Yeah, a little bit slow to begin with. That there's no question in my mind that and I said that to Joe. I said they just don't seem to be clicking right now. But from the 10-minute mark on, they really started to pick it up. They did a nice job of killing off the penalty. They've had a couple of good opportunities, but Sorokin was good, and you have to have goaltending if you're going to win anything. Of course, Minnesota's got to find a way to be a little more aggressive, maybe in that second period. Hopefully.
They're lining up, Tom. You wouldn't believe it. All they can talk about is the Tom Reed. They get to talk to the Tom Reed. Let's start with you.
I'm still alive, all right?
Your name, sir, and your question for Mr. Tom Reed.
Hey, Tom, my name is Joe. Hopefully you're doing well, and your restaurant's doing good on 7th Street as well. The question I have is, what do the Wild need to focus on in order to make a deep playoff run this season?
Great question.
Yeah.
And way to throw in about Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But at the same time, Minnesota. First of all, Minnesota has to get to the playoffs. We're not there yet, and I don't assume that it's going to happen because you never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, just look at the injuries that Minnesota's gone through this year. We don't need more of those. We need those guys back in the lineup. But I think Minnesota, and Herb Brooks has always said, when I used to sit with Herbie, he'd talk about making sure that your team is not flat going in and not dipping. You want them to be escalating in their play, and that's what Minnesota has to do. They've got to pick up the pace here now. We're very close to the end of the season. A couple more weeks and it's over with. So Minnesota's got to find a way to really step it up and get healthy as well. And people always say, well, who do you think is going to win? I say, let me know who's healthy once the playoffs start, and then I can tell you what's going to happen.
Good start to Tom Reed's hotline. Sir, your name and question?
My name's Dave Mauer, and I'm not related to Joe. And
you're lucky.
I'm wondering about Kaprizov. Is he going to help us in the playoffs? I know you said something about being healthy, but
Tom, what are you hearing about number 97?
Yeah, well, first of all, he is skating, and that's the important part of it right now. He is skating, and they're gonna put him back in the lineup at some point, but they want to make sure he's close to 100%. It doesn't have to be at 100, but he wants to be close to it. You don't want to put him in a situation where he's going to fail. You need to put him in a situation where he feels good about his game, and he can make something happen. But there's no question that when you get the playoffs, you need your players like Carell to be a part of the hockey club. There's no question. And they'd like to have Eriksson Ek back as well. He's the other guy, the other piece of the puzzle that Minnesota has missed so much this year. Minnesota's been one of the teams that really has struggled with losing high-end players. I mean, some teams lose players, and you're not the high-end players, but Minnesota has really had a tough time. But you know what? Give John Hines a lot of credit. He's done a good job of putting together groups and pairings or whatever he uses to keep above water, which he's been able to do, even though they had these injuries.
Some have speculated Kaprizov could join the team and play on Wednesday against the San Jose Sharks. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I do. I think that's probably what they're going to look at also. That'll give them a few games also to be a part of it, because you got San Jose, then you have Calgary and Vancouver and Anaheim after that, after the San Jose game. So those first two games, playing San Jose would get them kind of up to speed a little bit, but then you have two very tough games against Calgary and Vancouver. Those are teams fighting for a playoff position as well. But Minnesota right now just has to worry about staying healthy and getting their health back from those two guys I talked about.
We got about 4 minutes left in this intermission. We got and then another one in the second intermission as well. Continuing to give away these cool Minnesota Wild mini sticks. Sir, your name and question there for the Tom Reed.
Hey, Tom, this is Marco. I was wondering, we saw Doug Armstrong, the St. Louis Blues GM, use offer sheets to bolster the Blues with Holloway and Broberg. Do you see Bill Guerin using offer sheets this summer, or do you see teams poaching our stars like a Marco Rossi with an offer sheet? Thank you for all you do.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know that many offer sheets or not. Those are really difficult to determine what's going to happen. The one good thing, and it's a good question also, Marco, the fact that Minnesota's going to have more dollars to spend. The cap is going up, and they won't be saddled with the Parisi and Suter debacle that they had, with that $14.7 million took them right off the top. But Minnesota's done a good job. And Bill's played the game. He understands what it takes. He's won Stanley Cups. He knows what it takes from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, and I would not be surprised. Now what you have to find is players who would like to come to Minnesota that may help this team in the future. That's what you're looking for, and you don't want to spend all your dollars at one point. You have to do a lot of research, and that's where the scouts have really got to work with Bill in those situations to find out who might be able to come to Minnesota, would want to come to Minnesota, and get the dollars that might be there.
It should be an interesting offseason. Hopefully that's a long ways away. Young man, your name and question, please.
John and Tom, my question is, in your opinion, which of the two Wild goalies would you prefer for, playoffs?
Okay, they're riding Philip Gustafson a lot right now, Tom. The other guy's collecting dust. He's going to put an end to a Hall of Fame career at some point in time whenever this season ends. Who's your guy for the playoffs if you had to pick right now?
You really have to go with your hot hand. And right now it's been Gus who's had the hot hand. He's really done a great job, especially at the beginning of the year when the team was floundering a little bit. It was Gus that kept it into it. And right now you can see that the important games right now, the coaching staff is putting together, led by the head coach, as who's going to play in nets. And Freddie Shabbat's done a good job as a goaltending coach. But I think you have to go with Gus right now as long as he doesn't falter.
All right, I'm going to I got to put you on hold. I got to take a break because I got to get back for the second period. But you come back for the second intermission, all right? Can I get a big round of applause for Mr. Tom Reed? See that? They're hanging from the rafters. They go, oh, my goodness, Tom Reed, Tom Reed. All right, Tom, we'll talk to you again here in a little bit during the second intermission. That is Tom Reed with Tom Reed's Hotline from New York. And thank you to all who participated here at the Parlay Lounge at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. We're sticking around. We're not going anywhere. The Wild aren't going anywhere either. After one period of play in New York, we are scoreless. Full recap comes your way after a break. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket.
It's an unsettled metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Cub has everything you need. Fresh food, big savings, and your family's favorites, all in one stop. No running around, just one trip and you're done. Get Smithfield spiral sliced or portion half ham for $1.69 per pound with Mica Rewards. Fresh boneless skinless chicken breasts in a value pack is $2.49 per pound. And 16-ounce strawberries are 2 for $5 with Mica Rewards. Grab these deals and more at Cub, your one-stop shop. See store for details.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapists will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
We're through one period between the Wild and the Islanders. Again, we are scoreless after one period of play. The Wild did put 11 shots on Ilya Sorokin. He stopped all 11 he faced. Philip Gustafsson, a perfect 4 for 4 on the other end of the ice. Thus far, both teams 0 for 1 on the power play, and that's the story through 20 minutes at UBS Arena. We'll break, and then we'll get you back out there for the second. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsettled metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. TRIA Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up closer to check-in time. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
Texas Spirit started with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Back in the 90s, we had a dream as big as our home state. With grit, determination, and heart, we broke ground on the first legal distillery in Texas. Today, at the center of the craft spirits movement, we're still Texas-made and Texan-owned. Our copper caps line shelves, and we fill glasses with the smoothest juice around. Remember, just because it looks like vodka doesn't mean it tastes like Tito's. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Join us each night for Tom Reed's Hotline. Hotline. Simply text in your comment or question at 64686. That's 64686. One lucky fan will win dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or a pair of tickets to an upcoming Wild game. Hotline. You can't win if you don't send in your question. So text Tom right now at 64686 and listen to tonight's Hotline.
Beautiful mountains, wide open spaces, bustling cities and towns. There's a lot to love in our home states. And at Xcel Energy, we take pride in helping our local communities thrive. Beyond providing reliable energy, we help support the local economy and fund education with grants. Because your home is our home. And together, we can make it a better place to live, work, learn, and play. See how at excelenergy.com/community.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
With you, it's kind of been a trend for Minnesota lately as far as not scoring a lot in the first period. Just 3 times over the last 14 games have the Wild scored in the first period. Now, in a couple of those, they've potted multiple goals to aid their cause, but again, it hasn't been a lot of first period scoring on a game-to-game basis for Minnesota down the stretch.
Well, we're hoping that the Minnesota come out, with a lot more firepower in period number 2. I thought the first 7, 8, 9 minutes of the first period were not Minnesota style of play. But hopefully they picked it up in the latter part, and hopefully that'll carry through here in period number 2.
Shots favored the Wild 11-4 in the opening period. Each team had a power play. Each team came up empty. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial. In the second period, we start with full-strength 5-on-5 hockey for each team. Islanders skating from right to left. Minnesota chips a puck in right off the hop. Foligno on the forecheck. Back in the net, won a battle center. Rossi a shot handled by Sorokin. Maybe hit the outside of the goalpost as well. But Horvat now, middle of the ice feed, and Palmieri lugs it along for the Islanders before chopping it behind Middleton and back of the Wild cage. Minnesota rims it to the right wing boards. Foligno spins off a check. Left it back for Middleton to blister around the dasher. Rossi left side tried to tip it out. Couldn't. It careens free for Palmieri. He got it free. Dancing out in front with a little side angle try was Horvat, and Gustafsson got just enough of that. Behind the net, Horvat again. Bo Horvat, the former Vancouver Canuck, to the right point for a shot. Caught by Gustafsson. That came off the tape of Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah, Horvat's one of the guys who really has stepped up with his hockey club also. And it's going to be his birthday tomorrow, I believe. Today is the 4th, tomorrow is the 5th, and April the 5th he'll be 30 years of age. But he's a guy that really has brought some leadership qualities also to this hockey club.
Freddie Gaudreau on the draw for the Wild. He'll deal with J.G. Pageau. Pageau nearing 800 games in the National Hockey League. Former Senators draft pick. 2 players tie one another up. Islanders get it to the point. A drive by DeAngelo. Blocked out in front by Johansson. Checks to see if his stick's broken. It's not. Romanov now a left point bid. That hit Spurgeon, playing to the left of Gustafsson, where the Islanders skate to it. DeAngelo's chance never got through. Simon Holmstrom out of the right wing corner. Looked to cycle it off for Siplikov. Stashed around the Wild net. DeAngelo pinched in. Back of the net, Siplikov. Turning to his forehand with a feed to the left circle for Holmstrom. Well defended there by Minnesota. Holmstrom's back on it. Rifled it into the corner for Siplikov. Hill center for Holmstrom. Left circle getting free with a shot. Big rebound off the left pad of Gustafsson. But it's picked up by Zuccarello and shoved the way of Johansson. Marcus Johansson stood up by Romanov. And he just had to feather it in. Zuccarello on the forecheck. Stole it. Got it in front. Johansson a shot blocked wide. Zuccarello again. Passed one in front. He scores! Matt Zuccarello from behind the net. Banked it off Sorokin. And the Wild had the game's first goal.
Boy, a huge goal for Minnesota also gives them that confidence. And Zuccarello does a good job. And so often you'll see the players, and I think Gretzky started trying to bank it off the goaltender. And that's what Zuccarello is going to do in this case. But number 36 puts it away and puts Minnesota in the lead. This goal coming at 1 minute and 42 seconds of the second period.
So it went off the end glass. Zuccarello swatted off the mask of Sorokin, it looked like, who had to be more than stunned as Zuccarello just golfed at it off the side of the mask, the ear hole on the right side of Sorokin. And as he was pushing back to the post on his right, had a clang off of him and in. What a break for the Wild.
Yeah, it certainly was. You know what? You earn your breaks. So there's luck in it. There's bad luck and good luck. But you have to earn that luck also. And Minnesota does a good job. But Zuccarello is just getting that shot to the front of the net again.
18th of the year for Zuccarello, who on Sunday, of course, if healthy, will play his 900th regular season NHL game. He's now got a point, back-to-back games on this trip. Had a helper Wednesday, the goal here to open the scoring tonight, early stages of the second period. The Wild have scored first now 43 times this year. It surpasses last year's total. Islanders Force one to the side of the net. Gustafsson holds his ground up against the post to his left. It's jab free for Hartman. He took his eye off of it. A shot by Dobson, and he scores. Traffic in front. They have tipped, and the Islanders get it right back.
Well, we always talk about getting traffic in front. Also, Joe, use the bodies, use your size out there, and that's what's going to happen is Dobson just stay with it. And you look at Dobson, he's one of those guys they're expecting to get some points for him. You look at the year right now, 8 points for the big defenseman who's 6'4" out of Summerside, Prince Edward Island, but he just stays with it. You know, when you get in those situations, the coach will say, if you're there as a defenseman, stay there until something good happens. But it's in the net, and with that, it's a 1-1 game very quickly. This goal coming at 2:18 of the period.
Looked like Casey Cizikas may have tipped it. Hartman had a chance to the left of Gustafsson. I don't know if he was looking around for an option before the puck found him, but it rolled right past his tape. Dobson said thank you very much, and Cizikas deflects home his 7th of the year. What a unfortunate sequence there for Minnesota. They get a break, or a good bounce, if you will, on their first one, and then give it right back up. Pelech checked in the corner by Brazo. Trenyon fanned on his pass around the Islanders' net, and New York gets it out to center. Faber goes to Middleton. Baghdad hoping for Trenyon. He was in early, and this play is offside.
Yeah, and that'll bring the face-off outside the defensive zone of the New York Islanders. When you look at the Islanders also, they came into the league in 1973. Their first year, they had a total of 30 points, Joe. In those 78 games that year, they went 12, 60, and 6. They had 170 goals, but they gave up 347. Those numbers are a little bit wide. But
How many
that's a long time
losses
ago.
did you say, 60?
Yes, they went 12, 60, and 6. That year, that was the 78 games that year.
Spurgeon fired one in front that deflected wide. Palmieri launches ahead. It's grabbed by Anders Lee, dropped off for Horvat. Horvat shakes deep in the wild zone, trying to center. It's held in right point. Activating from there, cutting around the net is Ryan Pulock. Pulock feeds Palmieri left side. Up top, it's Pelech. Faking a drive, shooting one. It was blocked in front. It's knocked down by Brodin and forced along where Rossi at the red line backhands in it. Wild changing behind the play is Boldy on the forecheck against Pelech. Those two tie each other up. Pelech emerged for a moment. His pass hits some skates. Marcus Johansson for the Wild turns and rifles it off the end glass. Grabbing it as Rossi as the Wild look to cycle. Marco Rossi up on the outer half of the right circle. Squeeze it down low. Shot by Zuccarello in tight. Off a nice pass by Johansson. Handled by Sorokin. That's a big save, and the Islanders get it back the other way.
Yeah, Johansson picked up an assist also on that goal by Zuccarello, so he's got points in the last 2 games.
Freddie Gaudreau spins and connects with Zuccarello. Darts his way in, tries to split the D. Matt Zuccarello hustles to it, rims it around the board's favor. Pinching in, back of the net. Johansson, a wraparound try. It tipped away. Went through the goal mouth, and the Islanders come up with Siplikov getting it to Holmstrom. Simon Holmstrom charging in. Threw one in front, they score. That hit a Wild player, and the Islanders have a 2-1 lead.
Well, Minnesota's got to bounce back right now. They can't worry about what's happened here. Other than the fact that it just hit, it looked like it went off of one of the players. It was a Gaudreau that was back there. We'll wait for the official call, but it's going to be a goal that's going to be scored by Holmstrom, who's been very good at getting to the front of the net. That's his 18th goal of the season. He's a big body, also 6'2", 215. But the Islanders come back, giving up the first goal, but they score the next 2. This one at 4:02 of the second period.
Yep, it went off Freddie Gaudreau and deflected past Gustafsson. Gustafsson looked like he was a little off his angle, to be honest. But the speed there of Holmstrom forced the Wild back harder towards their blue paint. And now the Islanders get a bounce. And after not having a goal in the opening 20, we have 3 combined goals in 4:02 to start this period, the latter 2 by New York. And all of a sudden it becomes a bit of wake-up or gut-check time for the Wild time. Got to tighten up defensively.
Yeah, absolutely they do.
Ball from center ice sends it in. Back is Bogosian. Laid it around his end wall. Merrill with a nice pass for Devin Shore. Shore bounces it ahead. Kyle McLean cut it off. He's run hard there by Trenyon. Snapping at a loose puck was Merrill. Islanders sweep it ahead. Merrill turns to chase to his left. Bounces it off his end wall. Bogosian turns. Tossed it along. Brazo was pressured. Handed it back to Bogosian, who launches it along for Merrill. He'll angle it off the boards. Trenyon took it. Wrapped up there by Engvall. Lost the puck, but Merrill's there to rescue it. Go D to D right side. It's Bogosian. Slapping a pass along that Brazo tips in. Trending in on the forecheck. Right wing corner off to Brazo at the hash mark with a shot that went wide. Brodin to crash down along the left wing boards. Jonas Brodin around the net of Sorokin. Pushed it looking for Brazo. He's immediately bottled up. D'Angelo tried to use the middle of the ice, and he did. Connecting with Romanov, whose up ice pass for Fasching comes all the way in on Gustafsson. He'll salt it away for a moment and then play it for his defense. The Wild with a stretch pass here. Hinostroza trying to dart over the blue line. Had it taken away by Cizikas. Casey Cizikas, heat back behind his own net. Reversed it D to D. Scott Mayfield had mans. Fasching went rink wide looking for Cizikas, who wands it in. Back is Hinostroza. Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Early stages, second period, trailing the Islanders 2-1. Jonas Brodin, good up ice pass, charging in Hinostroza, trying to turn Mayfield. Skating out of the left wing corner, Hinostroza. Fed one up top, Faber, fresh off the bench with a wrister, blocker, save Sorokin. Rebound in front for Hartman, and a couple of whacks at it, and Sorokin denied him.
And that's the effort Minnesota has to have, Joe. They got to keep getting that puck to the front end. They have to have bodies there to get those rebounds when they become evident.
Hinostroza back. Up ice on a long pass, right side. Nyquist charges in. Peels up, fired a wrister, blocked by Dobson. It's grabbed by Pellick. Adam Pellick launches it to the left wing side where Horvat twists it in. Faber and Horvat to the corner over the right shoulder of Gustafsson. It's blistered around the boards. Foligno intercepts. Marcus Foligno gets the Jets going. Foligno with a full head of steam, charging into the Islanders' zone left side, all the way down around the net of Sorokin. Foligno coming out right wing corner, trying to feed a pass. It's blocked and knuckled out to center ice. Middleton to Spurgeon. Onto the tape of Rossi, who saunters over the blue line. Looked to loft it in. It was blocked, came right back to him. He stashed one along. Foligno couldn't get a shot off right circle. Spurgeon pinched in. Whacked it behind the net for Boldy. Wild have had a couple of good shifts here looking to tie this game. Boldy to Rossi. Cut away from some pressure. Around the net of Sorokin. Here's Marco Rossi through the high slot. Left it off Brodin. Fakes a drive. Rolled it to Boldy. Quickly back to Brodin. Right point. His shot glanced off a body and ends up in the netting and out of play.
Oh, difficult for Minnesota. They're trying to get the puck to the front there, but they're just coming in through now with that first goal by the Islanders. Went to Cizikas from Kulak getting the first assist, and also Engvall getting the second assist. A little bit slow in getting the numbers on the score sheet here. That second goal was Holmstrom with Spakhanov getting the assist, and Kulak also getting his second assist of the game.
So timeout on the ice, 12:54 to go in the second. The Wild saw a 1-0 lead evaporate quickly. They trail the Islanders 2-1 now. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
The countdown to history is on. Alexander Ovechkin, one of the greatest to ever play the game, is chasing hockey immortality. Every goal brings him closer to legend status. And SiriusXM is your front row seat to the action.
Alex Ovechkin!
Live every game, plus catch exclusive interviews with those who know him best, former teammates, coaches, and legends of the game on the SiriusXM app.
Brad Ovechkin scores!
The Great Chase is on NHL Network Radio.
Oh.
Well, Minnesota had first blood on this hockey here in the second period. 1-4-2. Zuccarello getting his 18th goal of the season, but the Islanders come back with a goal at 2:18 and 4:02 and have the lead right now, 2-1.
Shot by Merrill right side, caught and held by Sorokin off that one face-off by Minnesota.
winning the draws. They can't look back and say, I should have done this or should have done that. Right now, they have to worry about what they can do when they're on the ice here. Every shift is so important, especially for Minnesota, trying to get into that playoff position.
Tom, is that hard to do, meaning shake off either a misplay or bad coverage or something? When you come back to the bench, you're frustrated that you didn't handle it differently. How do you turn the page the next time out?
You are frustrated, but once you step on the ice once again, and that's forgotten about, now you have a job to do. That whatever happens on the ice, you have to take care of business. That's where you have to be.
Sipelkoff and Spurgeon after a loose puck in the Wild zone. Now it's Marcus Johansson from Minnesota trying to muscle it out. Romanov held in left point. His drive at the top of the dasher and careens out of play with 7:30 played in the second period.
Well, join the Wild on April the 6th for the golf ticket pack. Get a game ticket, an exclusive Unreal Wild hat, and a meet and greet with actor Christopher McDonald. He's Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. Space is limited, so secure your spot today at wild.com/pack.
Pajot and Goudreau on the draw. Islanders encroached on the faceoff. Puck was dropped anyway. Romanov over to a wide-open D'Angelo for a shot, handled by Gustafsson. Sipelkoff dug the rebound free. Comes out right-wing corner. Goes across the ice. D'Angelo fakes a shot. Dances for a moment. Zuccarello pressures. D'Angelo spinning. Shifting. Left point. Handed it on the pop-out play for Holmstrom. Holmstrom feathers it to Sipelkoff. Faber way out near the blue line defending on him. He'll fight him all the way into the corner. Now a puck jammed in front, and it deflects wide. Holmstrom races to it. This line's been a handful for Minnesota. Holmstrom spun away from Freddie Goudreau. Worked it off the boards to the late help coming of Dobson. He's fresh off the Islanders bench. Noah Dobson deep into the Wild zone. Stopped. Shoved one in front. Broken up. Zuccarello got a stick in the lane. He'll feed Johansson. Back to Zuccarello through center. The Wild need a line change as Zuccarello tries to chop it in. Holmstrom picked his pocket and labels it along for Romanov. Romanov finds Engvall charging in. Left circle with a shot. And it's stopped by Philip Gustafsson.
Yeah, I have to give the Islanders a lot of credit. They are not sitting back at all, Joe. They're taking good advantage of Minnesota getting flat-footed in their own defensive zone. And as a result of that, getting the shots. Right now, the shots are 16-12 in favor of Minnesota. But Minnesota's not getting a lot of firepower going here in period number 2.
Islanders, during the 4-game losing streak, gave up 20 goals. They're winless in 6, 0-4, and 2 in that span. But if you look during their 4 straight regulation losses, look who they played. Hosted Vancouver, fighting for their playoff lives. At Tampa Bay, at Carolina, and a back-to-back. Then home to Tampa Bay. Those are, 3 really good teams, and Vancouver pushing for a playoff spot as well. Off the draw, the Wild able to free it up in their left wing corner for Merrill to stab ahead. Nyquist then got a bounce over the tape of Mayfield. It leaks out the center. And the Islanders look for Hudson Fasching, slowed down by Bogosian. Will turn and flip it off the top of the dasher. Gloved down by Hinostroza, immediately bottled up by Mayfield, and that drew the play. I'll say a hand pass.
Yeah, that's what they're going to call it.
Hinostroza argues the call, but as Tom often says, that's not going to change a thing, is it, my friend?
No. Well, attention to our season ticket members. Once again, we're going to reward you for listening all season long with Forever Wild Reward Point. Enter the code ISLES. That's ISLES, ISLES, to receive 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow.
Hartman and Cizikas on the draw. One back by the Islanders. Dobson to Engvall. He'll charge through center ice. Hits the offensive blue line. Snaps it in. Backboard is Merrill, left wing corner. Bouncing puck couldn't be cleared out by John Merrill. Islanders center open. Cizikas a shot glove. Save Gustafsson.
Well, the Islanders doing a nice job of getting in the open with their bodies and taking those passes and taking a lot of shots. Right now, the shots are 16-14 in favor of Minnesota, but Minnesota had 11 shots in the first period. That means they've had 5 shots to 12 shots on the other side in period number 2.
Draw to the right of Gustafsson.
It's frustrating when you sit up here and you watch this and you think, come on, guys, pick it up. You got to pick up the pace here a little bit. They did it in the latter part of the period number 2, but they've kind of, or number 1, I should say, but kind of lost it a little bit here in period number 2.
The first goal by Zuccarello, again, it's from behind the net, and you're thinking, wow, we'll take it. Great play by Zuccarello to get it to the front of the net. You get the bounce off Sorokin, and then just a half minute later, the game's tied. I wonder what that does to the psyche of the Wild team that had to be all of a sudden feeling really good with a 1-0 lead, and just like that, it's gone.
Yep. And so often we've seen, Joe, where you score a goal and you have a little bit of a lapse, and all of a sudden it pucks in net from the other side.
Brazo pressures, so does Trenyon. Bullock able to get it past their harassment and work it ahead. Kyle McLean throwing it through center. Pellick grabs it. Pellick snatched it off left side, trying to charge it with Engvall. Spurgeon wrapped him up. Over the right shoulder of Philip Gustafson. Two teams trying to dig it free. Islanders get there, and they work to the point. Pellick to the right point. Dancing past the check, turning to his backhand, and then rolling it down low was Pullock. Behind the net now, McLean. Kyle McLean is bottled up by Yakov Trenyon. Spurgeon steps to his man. Trenyon rejoins the scrum, shouldering into a body. Now McLean trying to dance out in front. Devin Shore poked it free, but the Islanders won another foot race. McLean to the point. Pellick stepped loose, got it to Matt Martin, and his pass draws Romanov out to center. Both teams looking for a change as Romanov at his own blue line finds Pellick, rims it in from center. They'll kick to the left of Gustafson. Islanders the first team on it. They try to center. Spurgeon broke that up. Rossi, a chop and chase. Rossi pressures D'Angelo into the Islander zone. He'll spin to his left and angle a long pass ahead for Horvat. Horvat with late help coming. Swung it back for Romanov. His chance. Ricochets to the left of Gustafson. Horvat's there. Bo Horvat up there the blue line to D'Angelo for a drive. That caught the glass. Kicks off the end wall, and another foot race won by New York. Halfway home in regulation now. Wild down 2-1. Polino. Good pass for Boldy. Carved it ahead for Faber, who joins the rush. Back to Boldy for a quick shot. Handled by Soroka. Islanders clear it up. And grabbing it is Anders Lee, the Edina, Minnesota native. The Islanders captain trying to knife it in. Boldy on the backside pressure slowed him down. Middleton got hit awkwardly. Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy. Jake Middleton is in a world of hurt. And Bo Horvat looking around. There'll be a penalty. He's trying to check on Middleton, saying, obviously, that was unintentional. But, oh, my goodness. Jake Middleton went in, like, neck first and is really laboring, Tom.
Yeah, he is right now. And, in those situations, Joe, as a player, you get hurt. Like, just leave me alone for a few minutes. I gotta get my bearings a little bit. But John Worley, the athletic therapist for Minnesota, out with Middleton right now, who's down on his knees. As I said before, Joe, when you talk about playoffs, who's healthy and who's not, this is something that we don't need. But Horvat is going to go to the penalty box.
You got to hope that maybe Middleton more shaken than anything, Tom. I don't know what, a scary hit like that will do to you. But he is not skating off very quickly on his own power. He's got John Worley right alongside of him as he tries to shake the cobwebs. Or is it obviously a penalty call coming on Horvat? Again, it looked unintentional, but just a puck battle in the corner where Horvat leaned on. Oh,
New York line number 14, 2 minutes for boarding.
And he pushed the 5 of Middleton's jersey with his left hand. Oh my gosh! The replays are just.
Yeah, they're not easy to look at. That's for sure.
Timeout on the ice. 8:56 left. Second period. Middleton very slowly to the Wild dressing room. The Wild down a goal, and they need the power play to come to life here at UBS Arena. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Xcel Energy.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
And Doug. Quickly, Moo, we don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Scoreboard update.
Well, as mentioned earlier tonight, Alex Ovechkin scored his 40th of the season. He's now 1 away from tying Wayne Gretzky, 2 from passing him up. As for his Capitals, right now they trail the Blackhawks 3-2 after 2 periods of play in D.C. Also in Detroit, the Red Wings lead the Hurricanes 4-2 after 40 minutes of play. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The biggest plays on the ice.
He's up ahead, Pacioretty to the net. Backhand score! What a move!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Wild trail the Islanders back to Long Island. Here's Joe and Tom.
Yeah, Kevin, you're right. So often you look at the teams that are battling here right now, the teams that are not in the playoffs are the ones who are battling harder. And they want to be the spoilers, and you can't blame them for that. And the same thing with Chicago, leading, Ovechkin and his crew in Washington. Detroit, they're playing well, and they're battling right now. They're not in the playoffs. But Minnesota's got to get the legs going, get the puck moving north.
Off the draw, the Islanders win the face-off, and it is Pulock off the boards right side and all the way down. Their PK is 30th in the league. Their power play is 32nd, in large part why they are where they are in the standings. It's 5-on-5. New York, a pretty good hockey team when you look at the numbers. They have a +5 goal differential. It's been the special teams that has really struggled for them as Marcus Johansson carries along, feeds Freddie Gaudreau over the blue line right side, tried to shift past the check, lost the puck, Pellick couldn't clear, knocked down by Gaudreau, rescued by Pulock. Pulock gave it away, Zuccarello right circle, a shot pushed it wide, may have been tipped. Johansson tries to hustle to it.
Yeah, good effort by Zuccarello.
Kept in at the left point by Boldy, but just had to smack it down low where Pellick blisters it around. Zuccarello keeps in right point. He'll feed Gaudreau. Wild power play looking for some life here, but Gaudreau taking off the puck, and Palmieri gets it down with the help of Pellick.
Lots of time to make something happen. You need 1 or 2 good shots with a man advantage.
They're in the midway point of the power play. Gustav Nyquist on a long feed through center, slowed down. The Wild have to reset Boldy. Shifts past the check of Holmstrom. His feed then was broken up. Holmstrom trying to knock it loose, but Nyquist is there. Nyquist being pressured all the way in the Wild zone by Holmstrom. So he spins to his right. Boy, Simon Holmstrom really working his tail off in this game. He'll win the battle, get it to Pageau. And Zuccarello stood him up. So Marcus Johansson now for Minnesota over the offensive blue line at the right circle, ran into just a sea of bodies, and the Islanders play it down again.
Boy, the Islanders are playing a solid game here. They're not giving Minnesota even an inch in that defensive zone of theirs.
7.5 minutes left, second period. Power play at 25 seconds. Zuccarello floats back for Hartman. Hartman feeds Spurgeon over the blue line right side. Dropped it back for Faber, who takes a look. Feathered it left circle. Brazeau with some power play time for Minnesota here. He'll get it to Rossi at the left wing hash marks. Up top, Faber. Back to Rossi, left circle. Shooting one. Caught the glass. Rocketed off the end wall. And the Islanders come up with it. They might have numbers here. Cizikas over the blue line looking for some help. Fired one in front. Blocked by Faber. Faber now trying to charge ahead, but the penalty is over. Faber's pass was slowed down in center. Followed up by Rossi, who has to spin with Hartman still in the zone. He'll just label it back to Faber. Minnesota 0 for 2 on the man advantage, trailing this game 2-1. Hinostroza looking for a bouncing puck, partially broken up. Hinostroza charging to it now, right circle in the Islanders zone. Slapped it down low for Yakov Trenyon. Trenyon coming around the net, turned to his forehand, his shot deflected wide. Bogosian pinches in, paddled it behind the net for Hinostroza. He'll bank it to the left point. Brodin across the line, waiting, wristing one. That hit Trenyon and never got through to Sorokin. Islanders churn it out to center. Wild go D to D. Back over the blue line they come. Trenyon offered one rink wide. Devin Shore taps to the corner. Getting there first was Hinostroza. His pass to the point, though, is turned over. Engvall skates it along and flies it in. Bogosian back. Ripped it up ice, trying to catch the Islanders in a change. Trenyon trying to muscle it in. Couldn't. And it's taken away by the Islanders. They'll charge ahead with Engvall. Engvall through the Wild slot. Floated one down low and out of midair. A deflection. Went high and wide. Dobson keeps in. Noah Dobson left circle to the back post, and that feed was too hot to handle. Engvall to twist it back of the net for McLean. Islanders come free. They center and a drive in front, blocked away by Minnesota. At the left point, Noah Dobson smacked it around the cage. Trenyon gets to it left wing side. He's bumped by Mark Gatcomb as the Islanders steal in center, but Devin Shore intercepts for Minnesota and uses the boards to get it ahead. And all the way down, this is going to be icing on the Wild and a very tired set of players for Minnesota has to stay out there.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. And the thing is, I'm watching Minnesota right now. They're back in their heels, and give the Islanders a lot of credit. They're moving their feet. They're making good things happen. They're taking away those lanes, and Minnesota can't get anything going offensively. The shots right now are 17-14 in favor of Minnesota, but it's the Islanders that have the lead here, 2-1.
Draw to the left of Gustafsson. Pajot and Shore on it. Shore got it back. Pajot dumped him to the ice. The Wild fired along again. And they're going to call this icing again on Minnesota.
Well, for many Minnesota Wild prospects, the road to St. Paul makes a pit stop in Des Moines with the Iowa Wild in the newest episode of Becoming Wild, presented by Toyota. We check in with our AHL affiliate to see what's on the horizon in the Minnesota Wild system. Get all the behind-the-scenes action at wild.com/BW.
And the Wild came in 5 points ahead of ninth place Calgary. But the Flames will have 2 games in hand after tonight. They entertain the Golden Knights tomorrow. That's at the Saddle Dome. As the Wild finally get a line change here. Siplikov back in onside. A long shot by Pelech grazed off the post. But Minnesota got caught in that change in personnel. Islanders regroup at center. J.G. Pajot fires it ahead. Tipped off Siplikov. Gustafsson out with his goal stick to leave it along for Zach Bogosian. Bogosian baited some pressure his way and then freed it up. Eventually it's Zuccarello to toss it out to center. Johansson buzzes in on the forecheck. Noah Dobson was leaned on. He threw it in front of his own net. Sorokin had to use his goal stick to keep that from being a bunch of trouble.
Nice shot.
And now it's Dobson to carry the Islanders along through center ice. Flexed it right side. Siplikov on his forehand. Fanned on his shot. Nearly got it back. Zuccarello takes over though for Minnesota and stops behind his own net.
Yeah, good play by Zuccarello. Just stopped there. It gives Minnesota a chance to get some fresh players on the ice and set things up.
Nearing just 4 minutes left in the second period. That saw the teams score 3 times combined in the first 4:02. Here is John Merrill at the red line right side, slamming it in. Foligno hustles to it. And the Wild down to just 5 defensemen right now with the injury earlier in this period of Middleton. Faber a point shot. That went wide. Merrill playing alongside Faber on this shift. Jabbed it around the Islanders' cage. Foligno checked. Hudson Fasching couldn't clear as Faber pinched in. Now Merrill intercepts just inside the blue line, able to glove this puck free and try and fight it deeper in the Islanders' zone. New York came up with it for a moment. Now it's handed along for Boldy. High slot. Dances to the left circle and just spins back with it. Boldy looks for Faber. That pass didn't work. And the Islanders have a 2-on-1. Boldy's the only man back. Cizikas in right side. Tried to dance out in front and Boldy cut off his path. Cizikas now weaves one to the left point. Romanov. Working it to D'Angelo, who spins and then filters it back of the Wild net. Tom, that's another example, personally. Matt Boldy has the puck in the high slot, middle of the ice, just pull the trigger. But easy for me to say.
No, but you're absolutely right, Joe. And that's one thing, they're looking to make the fancy play, and it doesn't have to be. Just shoot the puck to the net.
D'Angelo in the right circle for a one-timer, partially blocked by Boldy. Islanders win the foot race. Horvat up top, Romanov. Send it D to D, D'Angelo. Watched by Nyquist, Tony D'Angelo. Started the season in the KHL. Works it down to Anders Lee. Lee cut right out in front. Backdoor. What a save by Gustafsson. D'Angelo got to it, and Gustafsson flexed across with his blocker and keeps the Wild within 1. Here's Romanov at the point. Working it to Horvat. Touched along to D'Angelo. Boldy's stick is broken. He's out there in the high slot defending without his lumber. It's Romanov, a shot blocked in front by Merrill. Rebound chance went through the blue paint as Horvat missed it. And the Wild here racing ahead with Nyquist, trying to push the pace. At the end of his shift, Nyquist hit the late help coming Merrill left circle with a shot, and he missed it wide. Off the end wall, Rossi tried to twist it in front, and that was blocked. Anders Lee taps out the center. Boy, could easily been 3-1 Islanders. Maybe then, even moments ago, 2-2 as Merrill had a good look. But the Wild stay down a goal. Zuccarello flops one in. Back is Pelech. Touched it along Palmieri. Angles it free. Dancing past some pressure and laying it back to Pelech was Alexander Romanov. Up ice now. The Islanders can't come up with this puck, but no icing here. With just over 100 seconds to go, a bank pass for Hartman. Trying to send him in on side. He couldn't corral it. And Pelech lays it over. Dobson fires it ahead. Matt Martin in on side. Got one in front of the Wild cage, but nobody home. Faber cuts it off. Knifes it around to Brodin, who chunked it free. Spinning with it, Hartman. He was bottled up, but they get it out to center. Dobson loads and crushes it back into the Wild zone. Behind his own cage, Faber, with just over a minute left. In period 2, Zuccarello now coming through the neutral zone. Finds Johansson, tapped off to Hartman. Fired a shot that Sorokin seemed to kind of see late, but he was able to swallow it up and get a whistle.
Yeah, making sure he had it underneath his left arm there. It looked like it's going to give the Savage play. But what I'm seeing right now also, Joe, is that I think the Islanders are just outworking Minnesota.
1:09 left in the second period. The Wild down 2-1. Timeout on the ice. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout. Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account. What? With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save. So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done? Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account. That's a flex. This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Well, 1:09 to go here in period number 2. In that first period, no goals, but we've had 3 in the second period. Minnesota had the first goal coming at 1:42 with Zuccarello getting his 18th of the year. But the Islanders come back at 2:18 and 4:02 to take the lead here, 2-1. Face off deep in the Islander zone right now to the left of Sorokin, who has been tested but not a great deal. Gus has had more difficult shots, I think, in this hockey game.
Injury to Jake Middleton, obviously a big one here. It's Spurgeon with Fabers. The Wild win the draw back. Faber to Zuccarello, tapped along Gaudreau's shot, caught the glass off a body. Spurgeon tried to jab it in front. Similar spot from where Zuccarello scored, oddly enough, earlier in this period, down below the goal line over the right shoulder of Sorokin. Here's Freddie Gaudreau snaking past some trouble, fed it up top. Spurgeon just barely kept in and slashed it along for Boldy. Boldy spins right wing wall from just above the goal line, connected with Zuccarello. Up top it comes Faber, shooting one. Blocker saves Sorokin. Rebound grab by Simplikov. Numbers here with Pajot bursting up ice. Zuccarello trying to catch him. Simplikov in with a shot. He muscled it wide. It's tied up along the boards. Simplikov came free, left side, a shot, glove save, Gustafsson, and will think better of moving it with Pajot in his kitchen. And a whistle here.
Yeah, Pajot looking for a rebound, but Gus had it in the glove, and that's going to make the faceoff to his right now. 26.5 seconds to go. Still 2-1 in favor of the home team. And they've played a hard game so far. They are moving their feet. They're making good things happen on their behalf. And Minnesota not able to respond yet with it getting those quality shots away.
Zizekas and Hartman on the tie-up. Islanders muscle it back. Romanov, a long shot. Gustafsson the save. He poked the rebound towards his left. Foligno to Hartman. So Foligno, Hartman, and Johansson now. John Hines has juggled his lines here late in the second. And again, the Wild down to just 5D because of the injury to Middleton. Puck stashed away by the Islanders. 8 to go in the period. Foligno hustled to it. Worked it to Johansson. Touched along for Hartman. He's got to hurry. Trying to bank one off Sorokin. Now at the point, Brodin, a drive. Pinballed around in front. Sorokin got his glove on it. And the horn sounds.
Well, a big effort by Minnesota in the last few seconds of this hockey game of the period number 2. But it's still the Islanders leading after 40 minutes of play by a score of 2-1.
Tom, real quick, your thoughts on the Horvat-Middleton play. And look, John Hines was obviously frustrated because really, by the letter of the law, that's just a 2-minute minor for boarding unless you deem Horvat did it intentionally, right? Intent to injure. Referees can't make the call. It didn't appear to be the case, but to lose Middleton and get just a 2-minute power play out of it, it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sure it is frustrating. He wanted more from that, that's for sure. And I'm sure the league will look at it and determine whether or not there should be something else coming along. But it's too late because this game will be over by then. So it is frustrating. But Horvat doesn't play that type of a game that I'm aware of anyway. I've never seen that with him. But he was the first guy to call for their help from the benches to help out Middleton.
So the Wild down 2-1 after 40. Tom Reed's Hotline live from Treasure Island Casino after this, and a recap of all the action so far. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
The best amateur players in women's golf will compete in the Augusta National Women's Amateur.
Lottie Woad, there's your winner of the Augusta National Women's Amateur.
SiriusXM is your exclusive home for this premier event in the world of golf.
You know, contending on the back nine at Augusta is pretty cool.
Hear the Augusta National Women's Amateur tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern on PGA Tour Radio Channel 92. Then on Monday, Masters Radio returns on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The countdown to history is on. Alexander Ovechkin, one of the greatest to ever play the game, is chasing hockey immortality. Every goal brings him closer to legend status. And SiriusXM is your front row seat to the action.
Alex Ovechkin!
Live every game, plus catch exclusive interviews with those who know him best. Former teammates, coaches, and legends of the game on the SiriusXM app.
Ovechkin scored!
The Great Chase is on NHL Network Radio.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind wrist the line and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite team. The best hockey lives here.
Martz gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You could win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
3 goals in 4 minutes to open the second period. Unfortunately, 2 of them go to the Islanders, and they lead the Wild 2-1 now after 40 minutes of play. Welcome to part 2 of Tom Reed's Hotline, emanating from the Parlay Lounge in Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Before we get to the questions, Tom, because they're lining up, you and Joe were talking about the hit on Jake Middleton. Bo Horvat drives him face first into the end boards. Man, that looked awful. I can't believe it was only 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's what John Hines was complaining, but he thought it may have been a major penalty. I know that Horvat doesn't play that type of a game, but at the same time, sometimes you put yourself in a position and you push somebody from behind, especially when you hit the numbers like that and go in. And you worry about it. And, of course, now Minnesota's lost one of their key members back in that blue line. And Minnesota's struggling to get in the playoff picture right now. They need a good start here in this third period.
All right, so don't be bashful. It's Tom Reed's hotline. It's an opportunity to talk to Tom Reed. Anybody excited to hear Tom Reed's voice? They're still going crazy, Tom. I'm telling you, I'm having to answer so many questions about that gentleman that owns that establishment down on West 7th in St. Paul. This guy's a great example. Right here at the microphone. Sir, what's your name? What's your question for Tom Reed?
My name is Blake, and I want to know, what do you think the Wild need to do to secure wins late in the game? And also, a second part of that is, will we have a chance to see Flower in the net before the end of this season?
Great question. Enjoy your mini stick there on behalf of us and our friends at Treasure Island. I guess the big thing is, Tom, locking down victories. They've been few and far between here as of late. Yeah, they've got points in the last couple of games, but how do they lock down some wins to secure that playoff spot?
Kevin, I believe we have to see more of an effort from Minnesota. I mean, I'm looking at the a team that's out of the playoffs, that being the Islanders, and they're playing hard. They're playing a hard brand of hockey. Minnesota's struggling, trying to keep up to them. Minnesota's got to come out with, and I always say about the guns a-blazing and so, but you really have to come out and work hard. You have to earn those points. You have to earn those goals. And Minnesota right now, without Middleton, is down. With one guy out of the lineup here back in that blue line, so it puts a little more stress on the other guys who have to fill in that role. But Minnesota's got to come out with a lot more gusto than I've seen here in the first period. I give the Islanders a lot of credit. They want to be the spoilers, and right now they're doing a good job of doing that. On the other part of that now with Fleury, I think you'll see Fleury at least one more game, and hopefully that will be in Minnesota.
All right, back here to the Parlay Lounge at Treasure Island. Sir, your name and question.
Lauren, yes. A little bit of history. When you played, who was your favorite defensive partner?
Probably Barry Gibbs. Barry Gibbs and I spent a lot of time together over the years, and he came from the Western Hockey League. I was out of the OHA at that time, the Ontario Hockey Association, and so we roomed together. In those days, we had have two guys in each room. Nowadays, they just have one, so they get their rest. But we always had two. But we spent a lot of time over the years, and I still talk to him. He has a home in Arizona, and so we try and get together whenever we go out that way. But unfortunately, we're not going out that way anymore. So we'll see what happens. But he would be the guy that I've spent most of my time with.
Does he ever come out here? Does he ever visit you here in Minnesota?
He's been here a couple of times, yes. When the different events that we've had, and he has come out. So it's good to see him.
Don't be bashful if you want to talk. I know it can be a little tough because Tom Reed is such a legend, but you have the opportunity to talk to him. Just sit in that chair. We'll get you a mini stick on behalf of the Minnesota Wild and Treasure Island Resort and Casino. We've been giving away lots of stuff out here, Tom. You wouldn't believe it. No gift certificates to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub, but lots of signed autographed merchandise, concert tickets, Wild tickets. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the Wild are down 2-1 after 40 minutes, so that's kind of put a damper on it a little bit.
Yeah, it's putting a damper in that locker room right now. I'm just wondering what's going through the players' minds as they look at this. This is really an important game. This is a game Minnesota has to win, and there's no question. They've got a tough road ahead of them too. When you think of Minnesota and what they're going to be up against, they got Dallas, then they got San Jose, then they have Calgary and Vancouver still battling, and then Anaheim to finish off the season. So this is to me, it's a very important game to get 2 points here.
We talked a little bit about it in the pregame, but the emergence of Gustav Nyquist feels like he was playing well prior to the last few games, but it feels like he's taken it to another level as he's become more and more comfortable. What have you seen?
Well, you know that I like him, and I've said that ever since he came back here. I said before when they had to let him go because they couldn't afford to keep him because of salary constraints, and so he was gone. But he's a guy that gives you some offense, and we're seeing that with him right now. Even in this game, he secures the puck well, and it's not like he's new to the game. I mean, Nyquist has been around for quite a while right now. This is his 13th year in the league, the second time with Minnesota, and even at Nashville this year, in the 57 games he played, he had 21 points, 9 of those being goals. But he's a guy that can play the power play, PK, whatever. He's a good offensive stick out there. Hopefully, he and the rest of the team will pick things up here in the third period.
The listener question was about one of your former teammates there with the Minnesota North Stars. When you think of the New York Islanders, what comes to mind. For myself, growing up watching Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, even Al Arbor as the head coach, Billy Smith between the pipes, who are some of the names that come to your mind when you think about playing against those old Islander teams?
Well, I mean, they've had a lot of guys over the years. How about Mike Bossy? I mean, how good was he? How good was Dennis Potvin over the years when he played? Brian Trottier, he was the guy that won the Hart Trophy in 1979. You got Al Arbor, Billy Smith, Clark Gillies, Bobby Nystrom. I mean, these are all guys that I played against, and they were tough to play against. They were a very physical team, but they were a good team, and that's why they won 4 Stanley Cups in a row. And Minnesota, unfortunately, was one of those teams they beat in the playoffs one year in 1981.
All right, Tom, I got one more question for you from the Parlay Lounge here at Treasure Island. Young lady, your name and question, please.
Hi, my name's Eunice, and I was wondering how old you were when you started playing hockey.
I started skating. My dad used to make a rink in the backyard for my brothers and I think I was like 2 years old when I started skating. I started to play organized hockey as a peewee in my hometown of Fort Erie, Ontario, and that would have been probably about 1954, 55 when I started. And what's interesting, because I never had aspirations to be in the National Hockey League. I actually wanted to go to school at the University of Michigan. And I actually got turned down. They didn't think I'd make their team, so instead of playing for the university, I wound up playing for the Chicago Blackhawks. So that's how things kind of work out sometimes a little bit better.
Unbelievable. Eunice, phenomenal question. Enjoy your stick here on behalf of the Minnesota Wild. And how about a big round of applause? That's 2 hotlines for Tom Reed. There you go, Tom, from Treasure Island Resort and Casino. A standing ovation for the young Tom Reed. Tom, enjoy the third period. Bring home 2 points and a victory, hopefully, okay?
Hopefully, Kevin. I'm exhausted. Thank you.
Tom Reed out there in New York, where unfortunately the Wild are down 2-1 after 2 periods of play. We'll take a break. We'll recap the first 40 minutes after this. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Tune to alerts from the Weather Channel for the latest information on the major storms in the Ohio Valley, producing destructive storms and major flood risks.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. When severe weather is impacting any part of the country, alerts from the Weather Channel for live simulcast of the Weather Channel for the latest information to keep you safe and informed.
For continuous coverage of the Ohio Valley storms, tune to alerts from the Weather Channel on the SiriusXM app. Just search weather.
The countdown to history is on. Alexander Ovechkin, one of the greatest to ever play the game, is chasing hockey immortality. Every goal brings him closer to legend status. And SiriusXM is your front row seat to the action. Live every game, plus catch exclusive interviews with those who know him best, former teammates, coaches, and legends of the game on the SiriusXM app. The Great Chase is on NHL Network Radio.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favourite team.
Zuccarello opened the scoring in the second period with his 18th of the year. Came a minute 22 in, but the next 2 go to the Islanders in quick fashion. They lead the Wild 2-1 after 2 periods of play. That's what's going on in New York. How about in Washington? It's true. Alex Ovechkin scored again. twice on the night. He's up to 41 in his on the season in his NHL career now. That's goals number 893 and 894. He's now tied with Wayne Gretzky as the number one goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League. That's what's going on, DC. Back to New York after a break. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Cub has everything you need. Fresh food, big savings, and your family's favorites, all in one stop. No running around, just one trip and you're done. Get Smithfield spiral sliced or portion half ham for $1.69 per pound with My Cub Rewards. Fresh boneless skinless chicken breasts in a value pack is $2.49 per pound. And 16-ounce strawberries are 2 for $5 with My Cub Rewards. Grab these deals and more at Cub, your one-stop shop. See store for details.
You have a job and a paycheck. Sure, that usually works for keeping your finances on track. But there are times when having access to the money you've already worked for can be a game changer. In between times are the ones that can make a big difference in your life. In comes Daily Pay. With Daily Pay, you can access your earned wages when you want them. Because your hard work happens on the daily, you should be able to reap your rewards on the daily. Find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Old Dutch potato chips.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs. So you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. With Tom Reed, I am Joe O'Donnell. We'll see if the Wild, for the third straight game on this trip, can find some third period magic and hopefully earn a point or more in the standings. But they trail it 2-1 with the third period upon us, and still no Jake Middleton, of course, for Minnesota. That scary hit into the end wall in the Wild defensive zone in the second period from Bo Horvat. And we obviously do not expect him to return with how he went off the ice.
Yeah, and Joe, you look at Minnesota, they have trailed after two periods 30 times this year. They have come back just 4.
To win.
To win, yes. Yeah. And when you look at the New Jersey, with the Islanders, they have led 28 times, and they've won 23 of them.
The Wild won 3-2 in their last 6 prior to this. Game below 500 since the Four Nations face-off, and in their last 50 games, below 500 by a shade. Trying to stay afloat, trying to find a way to get in the playoffs. 5 games left after tonight. They're down a goal here in New York. We're underway in the third. Brodin at the blue line fires a shot. Glove save. Sorokin able to see it because of the box out. Pellick on Foligno, keeping him from the front of the net. Our first whistle, 39 seconds into the third.
Yeah, I could see Foligno trying to get to the front of the net also, trying to take the eyes away from the goaltender. But Minnesota's got to do a better job. They got to work a little bit harder. That's why they were a little bit late coming on the ice. I'm sure the guys in the locker room are saying, guys, here's what we have to do right from the drop of the puck. Now we got to do it.
Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the third. Islanders skating from left to right. Pajot and Gaudreau on the draw for their respective sides. Gaudreau jumped early, asked to reset. Pajot put his stick down, then Gaudreau, the offensive player in this sequence. Islanders get it back. Romanov crushed it around the left wing boards. And it deflects out of play into the area between the two benches, it appears, with 46 seconds gone by in the third.
And we always talk about how important the faceoffs are. Now they're in the New York Islanders zone, but Minnesota has won just 43% of the draws. But capturing that with Freddie Gaudreau at the center ice position, probably their best guy to do that. See if he can win the faceoff back to his defense, but he cannot.
Islanders eventually come up with it, skating to his right. Flipping it along was D'Angelo. Spurgeon, his own blue line, hacked it ahead. Johansson deflects it in. Back is Romanov, squeezing it along. D'Angelo, right wing side, hustled it up. It came free in front. Zuccarello twisting it loose. Johansson, a shot blocked. It hit Romanov. Johansson to his own rebound. Up top, Spurgeon paddles it around the net. Zuccarello reached out and grabbed it. Zuccarello centers. Johansson a hurried shot. Tipped wide by Romanov. Siplikov to the carom. He gave it away for a moment. It does then get out the center. The Wild try to re-attack quickly. Johansson floats one off to Zuccarello. Zuccarello right wing wall deep in the offensive zone. Down below the goal line, Johansson was there for a moment. Now Hartman, fresh off the Wild bench, scurries to a loose puck, but it's jabbed free. And from the middle of his own slot, Pajot knuckles it along.
Yeah, good play by Pajot. Just get it out of the zone. That's all they're working at right now. Minnesota's got to be very quick coming off that bench when they're making these line changes.
Feels like a heightened sense of urgency for the Wild, though, to start the third, Tom. At the same time, though, they've got to be careful. You don't want to get caught too early in the third making a push. As Faber tries to lay one into the Islanders zone, hit the curved glass by the Islanders bench, so a whistle.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, you have to be careful what you're doing on the ice, but you have to push at some point. You've got to get there. I mean, they got 18 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in period number 3. Minnesota's down by 1. The shots right now are 21-18 in favor of the home team. Of course, that being the Islanders. But Minnesota's got to work hard to get possession of that puck and do something with it.
Wild dump one in. Mayfield. Bounces Zekas. Now Dobson over the blue line with a shot. Tipped down in front by Faber. Ends up deep in the Wild zone. Centering feed by Dobson. Cut off by Nyquist. Pushed it back for Hartman. He just squeezed it ahead. Islanders go rink wide a couple of times. And now Engvall gobbles up a loose puck. Stops behind the net of Sorokin. Started through his own slot. Brazo bumped him. The Islanders able to grab it with Dobson, hounded by Yakov Trenyun at a goal in the earlier meeting of the season series. Dobson fought through that pressure, laced it along. A long chance by Matt Martin sailed high and wide. Shore hacks it along Trenyun, rumbles his way in against Ryan Pulock. Those two go to the corner. Pulock knocked down Trenyun, penalty call. It's going to be on Trenyun. He must have caught him with a high stick as he was falling down to the ice. And there's the touch-up.
Yeah, it's going to be a high stick. Now they're checking to see if there's an injury. If there's an injury, it's going to be a double minor penalty. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen. I think it's only 2, but wait for the official call by the referee.
Minnesota penalty number 13, 2 minutes for high sticking.
Well, it's a tough break because Pulock initiated contact on Trenyun before he got to the puck. So that kind of caught Trenyun off guard. As he's falling down, his stick came out.
Well, I was going to say, he was off balance when he went down also. Right. And when you go down, your stick is naturally going to go up. So it's a hard call to make, but boy.
I mean, looking at it live, I thought maybe the penalty's on Pulock because he essentially interferes with Trenyun, who's in on the forecheck. Second Islanders power play of the hockey game. They win the draw. D'Angelo trying to slice at the Wild slot. Batted away by Bogosian. Picked up by Foligno. He's able to chop it down. Islanders power play. Had scored in back-to-back games before Tuesday when they went 0 for 4. Again, they're last in the league coming in. Horvat saunters ahead. Finds Palmieri charging in. Fired one that tipped off Faber. Again, no Jake Middleton, though, for Minnesota. Big part of the penalty kill all year long and over the last few seasons. Dobson, right point. Whistled at the Horvat, centered. It's tapped up by Palmieri. Dobson, a shot caught by the glove of Gustafsson around the screen of Anders Lee, and he's able to hang on.
Yeah, you look at Minnesota also. Minnesota has scored 4 shorthanded goals this year, but Trenton has got 2 of those 4. He's in the penalty box, of course. You look at the Islanders. They have given up 8 shorthanded goals. They've scored 8, but they've also given up 8. Right now the faceoff is deep in the Minnesota zone to the right of Gustafsson.
Power play to minute 25 off the draw. Bogosian right side. Pounded it up, not out. DeAngelo whips it to Dobson. Back across Tony DeAngelo through the high slot a few feet inside the blue line. Now Dobson, a drive, he scores. Noah Dobson with an absolute missile. And the Islanders have a 3-1 lead.
Oh, boy. Penalty killing all year long has been awful for Minnesota, and once again the power play goal at this stage of the game has been costly. This goal coming at 3 minutes and 36 seconds of the third period. Islanders have to be pretty happy right now. Minnesota, you know what? Don't worry about it. Get out and do something offensively.
Remember, the Wild scored 5 unanswered against the Islanders February 8th in St. Paul. They trailed that game 3-1 in the second after getting the game's first tally. We're back to live action. Pulock, Siplikov charges in, feeds it right side. Holmstrom fumbled it away. Foligno charges up ice. Marcus Foligno. Deep into the Islander zone. With poke check for a moment. Boldy follows it up. Got it into the corner. Foligno battles there against Pellick. It's stuffed loose. Islanders take over. Pajot with some speed through center. Watched by Spurgeon. Goes to the left wing boards. Filtered it back of the net. Brodin tries to sneak it free. Siplikov was there to slow him down. Rossi supports well. Scoops it off his right wing boards. Foligno waits a few moments. Waits some more. Now with the Islanders changing, he's got some real estate. Smack a pass along to Boldy. Boldy at the offensive blue line, slow down and forced to play it to Merrill, who connects immediately with Faber, and a saucer pass back to John Merrill. Merrill works his way through center, feeds it in from the red line left side. It rockets around the glass. Engvall tapped it back of the net. A giveaway by the Islanders for a moment. Cizikas takes it on his backhand. He got hauled down. Play continues. Zuccarello up near the blue line, looking for Merrill. That pass broken up. It's a 2-on-1 for the Islanders with Zuccarello back. And Zuccarello able to slow down Romanov, who stays with it, gets it to DeAngelo, right circle, a shot high and wide off a body and into the netting.
I know it's frustrating right now, Joe, no question about it. Minnesota's got to find a way, though. I'm looking at them just even going back to their bench, and they seem almost lethargic. They're disappointed, obviously, but you got to find a way to get back into this game. They trail by 2 with 15:07 remaining here in period number 3.
So a draw to the left of Gustafsson. Off the face-off. Engvall through the high slot, twisting a shot, hit a body. It's grabbed and tapped ahead by Spurgeon. Nyquist curls it free. Hartman over the offensive blue line. Hartman dances to his left, spins up and whips it down below the Islanders' goal line, where Dobson got a chunk of it. And then Cizikas to filter it back for Dobson, who finds Scott Mayfield. Mayfield launched it along. Spurgeon broke it up. Nyquist floats it up ice. Hartman beaten to the puck by Dobson. Noah Dobson chipping it free. Cizikas paddles it in. Back is Jonas Brodin. Brodin crunched in the corner, fought through it, worked it around to Spurgeon, who hurries it ahead, hit Astroza onto the tape of Hartman. Hartman at the offensive blue line looking for Nyquist. Not much there. The Islanders take over and they sky it back the other way. John Merrill in his own slot picks it up, wheels it along. It's Bogosian. Hand it back to Merrill. Slapped onto the tape of Zuccarello. Tries to chisel it in front. Sorokin knocks it away with his goal stick. Freddie Gaudreau tries to come up with it. Now Zuccarello on the forecheck. Digs it free. Tried to center for Johansson. Tipped away by Pulock. And it's Palmieri to guide it through center. Wild steal. Merrill quickly up. Left wing side, Johansson. Able to find Zuccarello. Give it back for a moment to Johansson, but that was kind of trickled away by the Islanders' pressure. Pellick back of his net. Skies it along. DeAngelo's got some room. And he'll pitchfork a backhander through center that sends Merrill turning to chase.
The Islanders have done a pretty good job of coming out of their own zone also. They have not been stymied very much by Minnesota.
Bogosian to Johansson. Marcus Johansson rumbles ahead. Gained the blue line, found Devin Shore. His shot deflected wide. Brodin pinches in. Probably see a lot of that for the Wild D down the stretch. Now down a pair here in Elmont, New York. Islanders take over. They'll hit the weak side help. It's floated along by Gatcomb, and that pass too hot to handle. It's icing on the Islanders.
And that is going to be going to face off back deep in the Islander zone right now. Minnesota can make a player change here at some point. Minnesota going to call a timeout, I would think, as you get closer to the end here. But got to do something. They're not getting a lot of quality shots at all in this game.
Shots right now favor the Wild slightly, 21-19. Islanders with 3 unanswered, though, after Zuccarello from Johansson opened the scoring in the first 102 seconds of period 2. Rossi in the slot, fed it back to the left side. Brodin, a shot tipped just wide. Foligno got a chunk of it. Charging to it, Matt Martin. Bumped by Boldy. Now D'Angelo flings it along. Brodin held in, whacked it deeper in the offensive zone. Foligno outside the left circle, turning and carving one to a vacated point. Frustrated, he swings his stick off the boards as the Wild have to reset. Faber up ice, the pass was errant. Simon Holmstrom now for D'Angelo. Right wing wall, swats it around his end dasher, and it's handled and slowed down by the Islanders defense here. Galloping up now, Romano. Jammed on the brakes, fed a pass at Trenyon Tip. Brazo to pick it up. Justin Brazo shook past the man. Right wing side, Brazo firing one to the back post. Short, got off an in-tight chance. Sorokin held the post to his right. Good work off the rush there by the Wild's fourth line. The puck then sent into the stands by the Islanders. Deflected on the way out, so no delay of game penalty, and we've got a timeout on the ice. 12:20 to go. The Wild in comeback mode down 3-1. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Did you know you can get home and away feeds for every MLB, NHL, and NBA game on your phone?
3 for the win! He got it!
Every game, all season. It's all on the SiriusXM app.
It's out of here!
Sports, the way they're meant to be heard. With your hometown announcers just a tap away.
It is gone! An incredible finish!
Search for your team and tap the plus sign to add it to your library. Every game, all season. Get closer to your team with the SiriusXM app.
Shoot, he scores!
The countdown to history is on. Alexander Ovechkin, one of the greatest to ever play the game, is chasing hockey immortality.
It's in the backhand, he scores!
Every goal brings him closer to legend status. And SiriusXM is your front row seat to the action.
Alex Ovechkin!
Live every game, plus catch exclusive interviews with those who know him best. Former teammates, coaches, and legends of the game on the SiriusXM app.
Brad Ovechkin scores!
The Great Chase is on NHL Network Radio.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Yes.
Well, Joe, you look at that first period, Minnesota outshot the opposition 11-4, but since that first period, Minnesota has had 11 shots. The Islanders have had 15 shots, and of course, 3 of those 15 shots found their way to the back of the net. Right now, Minnesota trailing by 2, 12:20 to go. There's plenty of time here, but you can't sit back much longer.
Well, regardless of the outcome tonight, or maybe I should phrase it differently, if the Wild fall in this hockey game, I would expect Sunday against the Dallas Stars at home to be their most spirited effort, maybe of the season, because they're just simply running out of time to try and sew up a playoff spot. 5 games left after this one. Calgary's playing decent hockey. St. Louis has been on an absolute tear. Vancouver's still hanging around. The Wild have to play both the Canucks and the Flames on the road next week. Jammed in from center by Brodin. Back is Pellet. Still time for Minnesota, but down by 2 now. Rossi left wing corner. Scoops to the point indirectly. Brodin fake the drive. Takes a look, and his wrister blocked by Palmieri. It rolls out to center.
Yeah. Islanders have a nice job of blocking a lot of shots in this game.
Here are the Wild now attacking with Rossi in a 2-on-2. Hands it left circle. Foligno a shot. Stick save Sorokin, knocking it to his left. Horvat races to it. Bo Horvat over the blue line, just jams it in. New York in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, trying to protect this lead and win it home and stay at least mathematically alive in the Eastern Conference wild card playoff picture. It's a long shot to say the least. They probably have to win out. But without an E next to their name, they are giving it their all here in front of their hometown fans. 11-11 to go. Puck ends up to the right of Sorokin. Islanders come up with it. It's jammed along. Holmstrom finds Pajot. Speeding up ice. Pajot has a step. Took a shot. Went wide. Came off the end wall. And Gustafsson denied him. Now a side angle shot. Rocketed off the crossbar. Gustafsson never saw that second chance from in tight. Or at least it didn't appear so. Wild now defending. Deep below their own goal line. Merrill working it loose. Zuccarello battles. Faber. Slid it up along the boards. Gaudreau to Johansson. Gapped up by Mayfield. Just flipped it in. And had to get around a bit of interference. Islanders get it back out to center. Brodin twists with it. Angles it ahead. Zuccarello. Pivots. Finds Johansson through the slot. Johansson cuts to his right. Looking for some support. Fired one in front. Nobody there. Gaudreau was being tied up. It kicks off the boards. Brodin can't hold in. He's wrestled off the puck. Here's Cizikas charging in right circle. A backdoor pass. Hit Bogosian and redirected just wide. Where the Wild have already had one puck go off of one of their players and in this hockey game. That's the difference right now. That second Islanders goal as the puck ends up in the Wild bench with 10:02 to play.
Yeah, and you watch the Islanders also. When they break out, they've got open guys that are coming up the ice at the same time. They've got their combinations working offensively, but at the same time, when they go into defensive mode, they got four guys back there, and Minnesota is not able to handle that. Frustrating, it's frustrating from us watching it here because you want to help them. It's got to be even more frustrating. You're sitting on the bench and you can't do anything.
Next game for the Islanders is at home against the Washington Capitals, and we know Alex Ovechkin, at least at last glance, had scored twice in their game against the Blackhawks and has now tied Wayne Gretzky with 894 regular season career goals. Puck ends up in the Islanders zone. It's grabbed by New York and skated along by the smooth skating Noah Dobson. Dobson, the former first rounder, deep into the Wild end, twisted it around the wall. McLean jammed it back behind the net. Matt Martin covering at the right point for Dobson. Just skies it down low again. Faber ties up his man. And Estroza dug it free. He's checked in the corner by Martin. It's log jammed along the wall. 9:15 left in the third. Puck still tied up deep in the Wild zone. Finally, it squeezes free for a moment. McLean, with 5 hits Tuesday in their most recent game, battled off the puck by Spurgeon, and Nyquist able to pry it ahead. Back, though, is Dobson, just ahead of Nyquist. He'll spin it free. And it's slapped up ice then on a pass by Pulock. Brazeau got a piece of it. Pulock again. The Dobson is passed, broken up in center. Devin Shore flies it in. Turning to scurry back, Pulock around the net of Sorokin, just jarred it off the glass. Merrill held the line the best he could. Islanders on a second effort fight at the center. Shore picks it up, cut past the check. Devin Shore over the offensive blue line, worked it along for Trenyon for a moment. Now Brazeau tries to dig it free. It bounces behind the Islanders' net. Just 8.5 minutes to go. Islanders clear it along off the glass and out the center. Grabbing it is Hudson Fasching. Right circle, in with a shot glove save. Gustafsson will hang on. And some rough stuff here after the whistle involving Trenyon and Fasching, the Apple Valley native.
Fasching took a shot and Trenyon gave him a little bit of a shot after the whistle, and no damage is going to be done by either side right now, but Minnesota's got to find a way. Come back here, they have 8-19. They have to score at least 2 goals to tie up this game to put it to overtime.
We'll take a break. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapists will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
tonight, Alex Ovechkin scored his 40th of the season, 893 of his National Hockey League career, and then...
From Mangiapane, second unit here, Ovechkin, he scores! Alex Ovechkin has 894, and the bench empties here at Capital One Arena. Ovechkin has reached the summit.
John Walton there on Caps Radio. Yeah, Alex Ovechkin tonight ties Wayne Gretzky as the #1 goal scorer in the history of the league. That gives the Capitals the 4-3 lead. It seems like the game is almost secondary. Caps actually lead now 5-3 late in regulation, but congrats to the grade A. He has gone where only one man has gone before. Back to Joe and Tom.
And you're right, Kevin. I think, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone is just looking at, they're not worrying about the score of the game. They just want to see what Ovechkin's going to do. And, of course, he has picked up 2 goals here tonight to tie. And I'm sure Gretzky is in attendance as the commissioner of the National Hockey League.
Here's a point shot by Pulock off the draw. Came off the end wall. Left wing corner, Foligno spins, angles it around. Brodin takes a look as Anders Lee bumps into him. Wild break it out right side, Boldy. Over the blue line, this play is offside. Rossi shot one, it got past Sorokin, it's waved off. And the Islanders don't like it.
Well, you can't blame them. Minnesota's a little frustrated also.
Rossi's stick broken too on that sequence. 7:55 to go.
I think that's just a frustration on the Minnesota side right now also. They don't have a lot of firepower in the game and not a lot of time left to make it happen. But if they can get just one goal early with 7:55 to go, hopefully they get a little more energy going into this hockey game. I'm not seeing a lot of energy right from the drop of the puck.
Shots are 23-22 Minnesota. Rossi, Boldy, Foligno on the draw. Brodin and Spurgeon, the defense pair. If you're just joining us, the Wild after scoreless first. Got a goal from Zuccarello from behind the net. He banked it off the right side of Sorokin's mask and in. But just 34 seconds later, the Islanders tied it on a tip by Cizikas after a failed clear in the D zone by Minnesota. Less than 2 minutes later, the Islanders pulled in front on a shot that hit Freddie Gaudreau. Holmstrom threw it to the back post, hit Gaudreau and got past Gustafsson. And now in the third, the Islanders with a power play goal to make it 3-1. Has a chance in front for Boldy trying to fight his way to the slot, got wrestled down. That came after a thunderous check by Foligno on the forecheck, set up that entire sequence. Rossi to pinch in left wing side, covering back there for the Wild defense. Rossi now trying to chisel it free. Islanders, Anders Lee picks it up and lobs it out to center. Spurgeon knifes it back in. On the forecheck goes Foligno, right wing corner. Looking to loft it along for Boldy, broken up. And Bo Horvat off to Kyle Palmieri. He'll pitchfork it up into the air. Faber waits for it. Islanders find it first, however, and they'll make the Wild turn and chase. Under 7 minutes to go. Wild from right to left on your radio dial, needing something offensively, down 3-1. Flames are idle tonight. They'll have 2 games in hand on the Wild and sit 5 points back. You do the math, that could be a 1-point deficit with still a head-to-head meeting to go. Of course, you got to win your games in hand as a shot from Romanov is swallowed up by Gustafsson. And the Wild do have the tiebreaker should it come to that. But, Tom, again, I think we talked about this. The Flames have a game to make up. They had that postponed game against the Kings due to the LA Fires. So the Flames' final game is April 17th. The Wild finish play the 15th. So if this keeps trending the way it is, the Wild could be watching like 48 hours after their season ends to possibly determine their fate.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's going to be a grind right to the end. But Minnesota's got to be a little more of the grinder, which I'm not seeing in this game here this evening.
Johansson and Zuccarello's the Wild with a breakout. Zuccarello looking for Brodin. That's out of stride. New York with a stretch pass. Max Siplikov charges in, backhand, forehand, a shot stopped by Gustafsson. Loose puck to his left. He'll find it, push it along, and now Johansson peels it back to Zuccarello. 6 minutes to go. The Wild down a pair. Zuccarello charges up ice, feeds it to Johansson. Johansson weaves past the check. Right circle, pivoted center. Zuccarello in front, and Hartman couldn't get a stick on it. Merrill steps to it left circle, and he just has to jam it down low, didn't have a shot lane. Johansson at the right point, Spurgeon fires one off the end wall. Merrill thinks about pinching in, then does activate. They'll keep Mayfield's clearing attempt from leaving the zone. Cizikas now spins away from Hartman. And right wing side, Cizikas backhand safely ahead. Spurgeon charges back for it. It'll be icing, though, on the Islanders with 5:29 to go.
Yeah, at what point do you have your timeout being called by the head coach of Minnesota? Kind of looking right now, but there's still plenty of time with 5:29 to go, and you want to get your best players on the ice. And with that icing call, Minnesota can make a player change, but you don't want to do it now because that would give the Islanders too much time to rest.
Penalty call coming to the Wild.
No.
Nyquist hauled down his man. And they'll be shorthanded with 5:21 to go. Down a pair, timeout on the ice. Here's the call.
Minnesota penalty number 41, 2-minute minor for slashing.
We're back with the conclusion of regulation. The hill's steeper now for Minnesota. Down 3-1. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
March Madness is alive and well with the Minnesota Wild.
Rossi and a little Talbot. Fans on his shot, got it back, and he's gone!
The Wild have 11 home dates in the month of March, and it's a great chance to see your favorite team in action as they head towards the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Go Rossi! Wins it in overtime!
From Margaritaville to Prince Night, the Minnesota Wild has a ticket pack for every fan. Learn more at wild.com/pack. Attention Wild hockey families. Elevate your game with elite performance hockey sticks from Hockey IQ. Based in the state of hockey, Hockey IQ delivers superior quality, cutting-edge technologies, and the most customization in the game. Most pros aren't playing retail sticks, so why would you? Join the Hockey IQ revolution. Skip those retail markups and dominate the ice. Get your Hockey IQ sticks today at hkyiq.com and use promo code WILD for 15% off your first order.
From snow and ice to road salt and sludge, Minnesota winters can be tough on your car. Get clean car happy no matter the forecast at Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Tidal Wave's industry-leading car wash gives your vehicle a fast, thorough clean to preserve your car's finish from the elements. Experience clean car shine worth cheering for at Tidal Wave Auto Spa, the state of hockey's car wash destination and proud car wash partner of the Minnesota Wild.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Well, 5:23. It's do or die for Minnesota right now. The faceoff is going to be deep in Minnesota zone to the right of Philip Gustafsson, who's come up with some big saves tonight. Shots right now are 25-23 in favor of the home team, so they take the lead in that department as well.
Got to be frustrating for the Wild. On paper, this was the most winnable game of the trip record-wise, but the Islanders, after trailing 1-0 early in the second, rallied quickly and have gotten the last three of the hockey game, including a power play goal, and that's what they are on now, the man advantage. Minnesota cleared down off the draw, charging back in Anders Lee. Bogosian wraps him up. Bogosian ended up in a heap to the right of Gustafsson. Islanders dig it loose. Palmieri tried to squeeze out in front, nothing there. Foligno muscles it along. Spurgeon to Bogosian. He'll just flip it ahead as the Wild change.
And of course, Minnesota shorthanded right now with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining on the penalty.
Islanders have taken over the lead in the shot department. Just 3 third-period shots for the Wild. Faber, right side, hammers it down. I mean, again, Tom, I think you have to start to wonder, with all the injuries and the amount of ice time some of these players have had to log, and you know, what's been a roller coaster year emotionally for Minnesota. What do they have left in the tank?
Yeah,
this right now looks like a team that, you know, doesn't have what they need to.
Yeah, they didn't have right from the drop of the puck in this hockey game also. And right now the Islanders just taking the time. They want to kill the clock as much as they can. Even though they've got the power play, they don't need more goals. They don't want to give up anything, obviously.
See what the final 4 minutes bring. Again, Minnesota looking for a spark. They've come from behind many times on the road this year, including the last 2 games of this trip, to at least earn a point. Siplikov right side, a shot. Left down by Gustafsson. Rebound for Merrill. He was wrapped up immediately. Faber staples his man Holmstrom to the glass. Puck comes to the point for Ryan Pulock. Pulock shakes along, Boldy to pressure him. Pulock hands it to Siplikov, right side. Angled it off the end wall, looking for Holmstrom. Nothing there. Merrill jabbed it away from trouble. Pulock keeps in. He'll go to the right point, Dobson. Power play just 5 seconds. It comes back along for a drive by Pulock. Gustafsson to save. Rebound hit the glove of Holmstrom, and the referee quick to see that. Realize as the Islanders touch it next, that's an illegal hand pass. And the draw is going to come out the center just as Nyquist came out of the box.
Yeah, the faceoff is going to be just outside Minnesota's defensive zone.
On the MSG feed, they are showing Marc-Andre Fleury and his outstanding career. Of course, second all-time in wins. The man he passed, Patrick Waugh, the Islanders head coach, took over last January the 20th of 2024. Helped the Islanders into the playoffs last year. Tom said earlier they lost in round 1, and you just see Fleury there with the camera on him. He doesn't know, of course, they're showing him. Just said, let's go, boys. Like, he's always a good teammate and a cheerleader if he has to be in this sense. Rossi carries that for Minnesota. We'll keep our eyes on Gustafsson because the Wild are down 2. 3 minutes left. Sorokin turned one over to Rossi. Behind the net is Boldy. Boldy turns to his forehand. There goes Gustafsson to the bench for the extra attacker. Boldy's first pass was blocked. Second try up top to Brodin. Sent back to Boldy, left wing hash marks. Boldy takes a look. Boldy waits. Bottom of the circle. Up top, Spurgeon. A shot. Blocker saves Sorokin. Boldy to the rebound. Empty net for Minnesota. Zuccarello and Boldy play catch. Matt Boldy, bottom left circle. Rink wide to the right point. Brodin shifted it along Zuccarello. A drive. Knocked away by Sorokin. Brodin hustled to it. Carved it down in the corner for Rossi. Up top, Spurgeon. The Wild in business here. Spurgeon, a shot. Blocker saves Sorokin. Rebound grab by Minnesota. Zuccarello flips it to Boldy. Outside the left circle. Boldy to center point. Zuccarello. Fake the drive. Rolled back along to Boldy. Attacking. Bottom of the circle. Threw one in front. And chiseled just wide off a couple of bodies. Brodin trying to jam it back out in front. It's broken up. Hudson fashioning a tip out the center. Hustling to it. Boldy just ahead of Cizikas. Boldy springs it up ice. The Wild come right back in onside. It's Rossi. We're down to the final 2:05. The Wild down 3-1. Back is Pulock. Pinned up in his left wing corner. Zuccarello tries to jam it free. It comes loose for Johansson. Back to Zuccarello. His pass hits some skates. Is handled now by the Islanders. Anders Lee through center ice towards the empty net. Reaching out was Boldy. Saved the goal. Boldy deep in his own zone. Floats it loose, Johansson. Paddled quickly to Zuccarello. Given back to Johansson. 100 seconds to go. The Wild need 2 to tie. Their top players are gassed a bit. Will they stay out or go for a change here? Down the stretch is Johansson. Lifts it along to Boldy. Pressured by Horvat. Trying to weave it to the point. Stolen by Horvat off the glass. Lee knocks it down, turns, and fires at the length of the ice. This puck will have the steam for icing with 81 seconds to go.
And right now, this will be the time to call the timeout for Minnesota right now. I'm looking at the coach, John Hines, on the bench right now, one hand on his hip and just kind of directing traffic down there a little bit. But I would imagine now, with the timeout being called by Minnesota, will give Minnesota a chance to get their top players rested and get a plan of attack here. If they can do that in the next, as you call it, Joe, 81 seconds of this game. Shots right now are 27-26 in favor of the home team.
Islanders had come in allowing 3 or more goals in 7 straight games. Lost 4 straight in regulation. Winless in 6. And Sorokin's been good from the drop of the puck. New York closing in on its 6th straight game out shooting its opposition. We'll see if that holds up. As the Wild are down 3-1 here. And again, just 1 win in their last 6 games.
And on this road trip of 3 games, Joe, I expect they get at least 4 points out of the 6. They had 2. If they could have won tonight, that would have been the 4. But unfortunately, that is not the case at this point.
Stars coming to town on Sunday, then the Sharks on Wednesday. Eriksson and Kaprizov nearing a return, but will be too little too late. Wild win this draw, at least for a moment. Left side, Johansson swats it around the boards. Boldy races in, a piece of it. Right wing corner, it's Foligno to Boldy. Smacked along to Spurgeon outside the left circle. Spurgeon activates, shot a puck that was blocked into the netting with 1:06 left in the Wild, down 3-1.
Yeah, the lanes really closed down in a hurry in this hockey game tonight for Minnesota. They tried to get those shots through, but a lot of the dark shirts of the Islanders are able to get a piece of those shots coming in and take it away from their netminder. Sorokin really has not been tested too much in this hockey game.
Rossi on the draw against Pajot. Rossi muscled it free. Zuccarello, left wing boards at the bottom of the circle, now at the goal line. Up top in the final minute, it's Spurgeon across the blue line. Back to Zuccarello, left circle. Waits, looks for a lane. Waits some more. Deeks with the puck. Sent one to the right wing corner, hoping for Boldy. It's broken up. Islanders can't clear. Spurgeon holds in. Foligno twisting it along. It'll leak out to center. It's going to bounce all the way back towards the empty Wild cage and go just wide. Minnesota running out of time. 40 seconds to go. Zuccarello from deep out of his own zone. 5 Islanders back staring him down at center. Zuccarello with a pass. Boldy couldn't corral it. Scott Mayfield to the empty net. That will be icing as it goes wide by about 10 feet. But just a half minute to go.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he wanted to do. Of course, he wanted the empty net goal, but at the same time, you got to think of the team first. That would have been a better play off the far boards and angle it just to kill more seconds off the clock. I know there's 30.3 seconds showing there right now, and things can happen in 30 seconds.
Rossi and Pajot on the draw. Linesman didn't drop it. Zuccarello's over Rossi's right shoulder. Empty net for Minnesota. Bouncing puck off the face-off. Zuccarello squeezes it to the left point. Spurgeon giving back to Zuccarello. He's got to hurry here. Zuccarello to the goal line. Johansson cuts around the net, trying to whip it in front. Rossi to his backhand. Sorokin the save. Boy, a good chance for Rossi. Sorokin made the stop and pushing and shoving after the whistle with 20.1 seconds left.
Yeah, and Rossi right in the middle of things also. And I believe somebody's lost their helmet there. That's Foligno without a helmet, I think.
Well, Mayfield's without his as well. Foligno's is in the hands of Rossi, his helmet. And Holmstrom will pick up the helmet of Mayfield with 20.1 seconds left. Another offensive zone draw for the Wild. Look, give him credit. Last couple of minutes, goalie pulled. They've had some looks. They've had some chances.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Minnesota's, trying to get the shots through, but boy, there's been a lot of shots that have been blocked by the visitor, by the home team also.
Rossi has 13 goals on the road this year, and some of them in game-tying or game-winning situations late in third periods. Just had a good look there. Foligno is trying to fix his helmet. He doesn't want to leave the ice. Officials ask him to kind of speed up the process. He finally is able to buckle that chin strap. And now it's Rossi and Pajot on the draw to the left of Sorokin. Off the draw, it's knuckled back of the net. Pulick tried to tie it up. Johansson dug it free. Up top, Boldy's got to hurry. Boldy tried to dance past the check. Gathers right side, just 10 seconds to go. Boldy sliced one through the goal crease. Spurgeon gathers. He'll fire a shot, tipped wide by Zuccarello. It kicks free, 5 seconds to go. Boldy waits. Boldy shoots, blocked down in front, and that's going to do it. As Johansson gets to it, the Wild run out of time. As devastating a loss as maybe they've had all season. The playoff cushion really not having much padding to it at this point. The Flames will have 2 games in hand, Tom. They'll be 5 points back. They'll play the Golden Knights tomorrow night in Calgary with a chance to trim that Wild lead for the final spot to just 3 points. And, of course, St. Louis idle tonight. They got the win last night in overtime, their 11th straight victory. So the Wild now 2 points back at St. Louis for the top wild card spot and an equal number of games played.
Yeah, and I don't know what you say. I don't know what you say to the team. I mean, you know what? I give the Islanders a lot of credit. They came out to play. They want to be the spoilers. And you know what? Tonight they were. They did the job they had to do. They out-hustled, outworked Minnesota. They won by 2 goals. 3-1 was the final here, but they also were a team that just seemed that, hey, guys, we're not going to be in the playoffs, but we're going to make sure it's going to be difficult for the Minnesota to want to get in the playoffs, and they certainly did that tonight.
Islanders end their 4-game regulation losing streak. It's their first win in the last 7. They're 33, 32, and 10, so a game over 500. They have 76 points, and they are still a handful of points, put it that way, out of a wild card spot, but still not mathematically eliminated. For Minnesota, it's loss number 29 in regulation. They're 41, 29-7, 89 points, 5 games left, and 5 points ahead of the non-playoff field. But Calgary, that team in 9th, has 2 games in hand. Vancouver's in 10th, also 5 points back of the Wild. And they have games in hand now as well on Minnesota. And again, the Wild are going to play both of those teams. And it very may well come down to, for Minnesota, the back-to-back in Calgary, in Vancouver. If they win them both, they might punch their ticket no matter what these other teams do.
And Joe, I think they can do it if they come with the right attitude and when they have a drop of the puck and something good happens. But you know what's interesting? About a week ago, John Hines and I were talking, and he says, the team I'm worried about the most right now is Calgary.
Yep.
He says, I'm not worried about where we are. I'm worried where Calgary is and what they're going to do, depending on what we do as well. So with that in mind, Minnesota's just, you know what? Learn from it and go from there. I mean, what else you do?
So 5 games left, 89 points for Minnesota. Calgary has 2 games in hand, 5 points back. I misspoke a second ago. Vancouver's 8 back of the Wild, but now they have 2 games in hand as well. And again, 1 head-to-head meeting left next week. It's back on home ice for a Sunday showdown against the Dallas Stars. The Stars, by the way, do play at home tomorrow afternoon against Pittsburgh, and then they'll play the second of a back-to-back Sunday in St. Paul. That's a TNT broadcast, so a later puck drop, I believe, about 2:15 p.m. on Sunday. The Wild and the Stars. Will Kaprizov be back? Will Eric Sinek be back? What's the status of Jake Middleton? All that still to be determined for the Wild. And it's going to be gut check time with 5 to go. Tom, any other final thoughts?
Yeah, just disappointing all the way through. No question about it. When you look at Minnesota now, and you know you're trying to capture some points, but in the last 7 games now, they have won just one game. And they've had a couple games that went to overtime, but the rest have been losses. And Minnesota, they're not getting goals. In order to win in this league, you have to score goals. At least 3 goals to make it work. Minnesota's not doing that.
The Wild got the first one. It was quickly erased on a deflected shot by Casey Cizikas. The Islanders, a couple of minutes later, early in the second, took their first lead and never looked back. A power play goal in the third, salting away. An Islanders home ice win tonight by a final score of 3-1 over the Minnesota Wild. By the way, for Minnesota, that's their 11th regulation loss when scoring first this season. That's going to do it for this portion of tonight's broadcast. Thanks to the fans that went out to Treasure Island Casino for the watch party. Great work by Kevin Fulnes out there.